cartel members and smuggling tons of cocaine into the U.S. for billions of dollars in profits. In exchange, they say the 54-year-old was given briefcases stuffed with millions of dollars in cash bribes from the criminal organization.
Fox's Brian Yenna at the federal courthouse in Brooklyn, where the defense argues there's no credible evidence. President Biden facing more bipartisan criticism after more classified documents were found during an FBI search Friday at his home in Wilmington, Delaware.
I really don't understand how those documents got into a personal residence, and we do need answers on that. But the good news is that the president is fully cooperating.
California Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna, the latest documents include some dating back to the president's time as a U.S. senator. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A storm you should be prepared for. Cloudy and 32 degrees downtown. All clear on your radar, and you've got a low of 29 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Another winter storm is on the way. John Herrick reports.
It'll feature snow, but not really anything in the way of high wind gusts or freezing rain.
So it's really a system that has a lot of qualities of being one of our classic snowmakers for Indiana, really the whole state. It really is just going to end up being a pretty widespread snow across not only northern Indiana, but all the way through central and portions of southern Indiana as well.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says some areas could get anywhere between 4 and 10 inches of snow from Tuesday night through Wednesday. But as for the exact totals for each location, he says they'll have a better idea on that Tuesday. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There was a fatal crash that killed 2 people on Indy's south side last night, says IMPD. The wreck happened at the intersection of Meridian Street and Southport Road when an Acura ran a red light and hit the driver's side of another car.
Slow down, take your time, allow extra time to get to wherever you're going.
IMPD Captain Don Weilhammer. Police believe alcohol may have been a factor. The crash is still being investigated. 2 teenage boys have been arrested in a shooting that injured a 15-year-old girl January 5th in a neighborhood north of I-70 near the 30th Street and Franklin Road intersection. Police believe the boys were playing with the gun when the girl was shot. One of them is 17 and faces several charges, including criminal recklessness. The other suspect, who's 15, is charged with dangerous possession of a firearm. The jury who will decide the fate of Richard Allen, the Delphi suspect, will come from either St. Joseph or Allen County. Prosecutors and the defense for Allen were told by Judge Francis Gall to choose a county by Friday, January 20th. Their decision wasn't made public until today. A bail hearing for Allen has been scheduled for February 17th. Back on top, the Purdue Boilermakers men's basketball team is once again ranked number 1 in the AP poll. They beat Michigan State, Minnesota, and Maryland last week, and Purdue is on a 6-game winning streak. They play Michigan Thursday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, when we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic in the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at eastbound State Road 32 at Cynthia Ann Road. That is a crash and a slowdown in Hancock County. Eastbound 70 between County Road 400 West and 200 West. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Today will be a very January-like day, mainly cloudy skies with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. Lows tonight will bottom out in the mid-20s, and we're in store for a mild day Tuesday with highs approaching 40 degrees. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8 Stephanie Meade for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Happy to be with you on a Monday.
Hello.
It is the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here.
Hey, man.
Let's not waste any time. Get the bread ready. Get the milk ready.
No,
We've got severe weather on the way.
I gotta get the bread and milk.
Warning.
They said snow!
Weather alert.
I gotta get the bread and milk.
Snow is coming to Indy.
I gotta get the bread and milk! Oh my God!
So sometime tomorrow evening, Nige, the weather's going to go from cold to fugly pretty quickly.
Is that a meteorological term? Is that even a word? Is meteorological even a word?
I think both are terms, actually. Let's just say that they are. And the weather will turn a little dicey. You're going to start seeing some snow. And then, unfortunately for Matt Bear, it sounds like Wednesday morning, that morning drive is going to be just an absolute mess. This thing could go any direction.
It's going to be one of those things where I hope it's not as bad as they're saying it's going to be. But this looks like the real deal, unfortunately.
So again, that imaginary line of I-70 sounds like it's going to be like the dividing line here. If you live in the northern part of the WIBC listening area, you will see more snow. If you live in the southern portion of the WIBC listening area, you'll see a little less. But I do think everybody is going to see something. Now, the time of the arrival, we will know more about that tomorrow. But as of right now, downtown Indianapolis, kind of the metro area, if I'm following the weather forecasters correctly, Nige,
yes,
they're calling for anywhere from 1 to 7,554 inches of snow tomorrow.
There's a little wiggle room there. Just leaving themselves a little bit of room for maneuver.
Right.
I think Wednesday is going to be brutal. Again, I was hoping it's going to be one of these things, and we can ask our friends over at Wish TV if this is one of those things where, well, it could get this bad, but it really might not get that bad. But it looks as if this is kind of a big deal.
So tomorrow and Wednesday, team coverage around here at WIBC, and honestly, the most valuable player we're going to have is Matt Bear. Because if these forecasts are correct, it sounds like that morning drive on Wednesday is going to be somewhat, shall we say, screwed up.
Yeah.
So we'll have more on that. The one thing that I'm looking forward to, every time they have severe weather happening, whether it's here in Indy or around the country, these TV stations that put their forecasters and their reporters out in the elements, and then they tell you, don't go out in these elements.
Yeah.
I think it was in Iowa where they put the sports guy out there. I don't know if they were short-staffed, if the weather guy was off that day. They put one of their sportscasters outside to report on a winter storm.
I normally do sports. Everything is canceled here for the next couple of days. So what better time to ask the sports guy to come in about 5 hours earlier than he would normally wake up, go stand out in the wind and the snow and the cold, and tell other people not to do the same.
Mark, how you feeling out there?
Again, the same way I felt about 8 minutes ago when you asked me that same question. I'm used to these evening shows that are only 30 minutes long, and generally on those shows, I'm inside. So this is a really long show. Tune in for the next couple hours to watch me progressively get crankier and crankier.
I love that guy.
Now, normally, I'm a guy that wants to be part of that, right? My bucket list is to cover a hurricane outdoors somewhere, but I'll pass in the winter storm. I don't want to be standing outside freezing to death, man.
There's a difference, huh?
Snow blowing in your face. I'm good with that. Producer Sam is with us today. Hit me with some legal stuff. Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff. You may have heard on the news earlier at the top of the hour, the jury for the Delphi murder case will come from either St. Joseph or Allen counties. So of all the counties in the state of Indiana, apparently this judge, Francis Gull, has said, we think the people in St. Joseph or Allen County are the biggest know-nothing rubes in the state of Indiana that probably have the best chance of never even heard of this trial going on right here.
You know, I saw this. So they're either, Allen County is, both of these are kind of near Fort Wayne, right? So Allen County.
St. Joseph's is South Bend, yeah, and Allen County is Fort Wayne.
Allen's that's 2 hours away from Carroll County. Are these people going to be, I'm assuming they're going to be loaded up in a bus and pack your bags. It's time. Say goodbye to your family for a week or two. They're not going to be going home 2 hours away every night, are they?
I don't think they can. A case of this magnitude, I would imagine they'd be sequestered. But you're telling me that...
But even if they're not sequestered, Hammer, a 2-hour commute back and forth for jury every day doesn't make sense. I don't know how it works, but I'm assuming they're going to tell them to pack their bags.
So you're going to tell me that the people... this trial's happening in Carroll County. The people in St. Joseph or Allen counties know less about this trial than, let's say, if you go down to like Scott County or Bartholomew County or somewhere like that. That's just, I think it's kind of a slap in the face to the people of those communities, isn't it?
St. Joe's only an hour and a half away.
Right.
In Allen County, like I said, it's 2 hours away. I just hope they get this right. The jury selection process, it's got to be incredibly complicated when it's a local trial, like here in Marion County. I can imagine how complicated and drawn out and expensive a process that is. Not that I'm saying expense should be considered here. We need to spend all the money we can to get this right for the victims and the families.
And I want this to be a fair trial. I don't want any shenanigans. If, and this is a big if Richard Allen is the guy, then let's make sure every I is dotted, T is crossed, and have a fair trial. If he's not the guy, let's find that out too. Let's find if there's more people involved in this than just one guy, because I think there's a very good chance that may be the case as well. I find it really hard to believe that only one person knows all the ins and outs of what happened to these two young ladies. I find that really hard to believe. So let's get it out there. Let's find all of the information. But the judge, Francis Gull, said St. Joseph County or Allen counties is where the jury will be pulled from. The date to keep in mind here is February 17th. That's the bail hearing, and it's at that hearing they will also discuss the rescheduling, most likely, of the trial, because there are very, very few people that feel like this is going to start on time. Weekend crime numbers, something we do every Monday here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Not a bad week here in Indianapolis. From Friday until Sunday, 6 people shot, 2 people killed. Now, that's 2 too many, but considering how this year has started, that's substantially less.
It's been an awful start to 2023 with homicides and shootings and stabbings. It's been incredibly bad.
As a matter of fact, we have, through 23 days, into the 23rd day, not even through, into 23 days, 61 people shot, 17 stabbed, and 14 killed. So if you look at the calendar here, we've got just about over a week to go in January. We're looking at 14 homicides right now. Let's just say Indy gets to 20. So you're looking at 20 in January, which historically is a high homicide month in Marion County. But if you pace that out throughout the year, you're looking at what could be the second highest homicide rate of all time in the history of Indianapolis.
Well, hey, at least you didn't break the record.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Have another party over at the city-county building. The city had 212 criminal homicides last year. There were 252 in 2021. Now, you got to keep in mind, there was a mass shooting involved in 2021, but 252 is the record, and 215 was 2020. So we are on pace for a top 3 year, well over 200 homicides. Now, the good news is that February, March, historically, those numbers go down. But as the weather goes back up, and you guys know this, the summertime here in Indianapolis, the numbers go back up. So maybe 20 isn't a sustainable number for every single month, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. Let's go back to August of last year. Joe Hogsett, Boss Hogsett, Diamond Joe, did an interview and said that the streets, they're kind of a struggle bus.
We are struggling mightily to make our streets and our neighborhoods as safe as we can make them.
Now, that's the mayor of Indianapolis saying it's a struggle to make the streets safe in August of last year. Just a few months later, late October, this was prosecutor Ryan Mears.
First of all, downtown is safe. Downtown is safe.
So those are two drastically different messages only a couple months apart last year. It's almost like they have no plan or no strategy to really make a difference. Going down 1 or 2 or 3 isn't the grounds for throwing a party in this city. If you still have top 3 all-time homicides, there's no reason to high-five anybody. All right, Matt Baer, what is going on?
East Side Hammer looking at southbound 465. Now we have a crash blocking the left shoulder at I-70. Okay, this is causing stop-and-go traffic back to Penn Pike. This is going to get worse when emergency vehicles do pull up. They have not done so yet. Traffic sponsored by Jeff Martin Auctioneers. It's by Frigi and Frigi Auctioneers. Frigi and Frigi Auctioneers is holding the Midwest Construction and Farm Equipment Public Auction on Saturday, February 4th in Clayton. Info at FrigiAuctioneers.com. That's FREIJE Auctioneers.com. License AC 312-00002. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And again, tomorrow afternoon and Wednesday morning, keep it locked right here to 93 WIBC because Matt Baer, he's going to make sure that you, if you have to get out on the road, you get to where you need to be safely. Right now, we are looking at some cloudy skies. Got a cold one right now. Temperature still continuing to drop. We are at 36 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
It's best, Mr. President, that you don't know what you're guilty of. It's best that you not know that these documents pertain to conversations regarding Ukraine, where your son was having business dealings and making millions of dollars, and now they, meaning the free and thinking world, can connect your classified document, the classified documents in your possession, to things that may exist on your son's laptop.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Better sleep can change your life. That's because sleep is a core pillar of health, just like nutrition and exercise. So if you're not getting enough of it, ZQL invites you to take our Better Sleep to Better Health Challenge. Get weekly sleep tips and explore how ZQL, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, can help you. ZQL's Better Sleep to Better Health Challenge. Visit ZQL.com.
Find ZQL at Walmart or Walmart.com and start your journey to better sleep today.
Hey, thanks to B&W Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They're the ones that installed my new air conditioner. They were also just out of my house last week fixing a drain pipe in my garage. Look, you're a homeowner. I'm a homeowner. I'm also an American Standard air conditioning owner. You don't have to worry about your heating and cooling with American Standard.
B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains in Speedway. Ask B&W about their Premier Club. Premier Club members get a visit from a B&W member in the spring and the fall where they'll check all of your electrical connections, voltage and amps on your AC and furnace, your gas pressure on your gas furnace, check the airflow, and leave you with extra filters so you can change it yourself when needed. Visit bplusw.com. That's B, the word plus, w.com, or just give them a call, 317-243-3581. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of. It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life.
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesandschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
A B-Window $2,000 energy-saving credit plus federal tax credit and sale prices on windows, siding, and doors. No payments and no interest for 22 months.
Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. The tumor was very aggressive. And it very quickly became clear that St. Jude was the ultimate place to be. St. Jude is an asset to the world. I think it's the kind of place that could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people. If those lessons could be learned, this world could be a better place.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Purdue back at number 1. Did I just see that?
New poll is out.
Wow.
Boilers back in the top spot in the AP Top 25. Best start in school history. They only have one loss on the season. Purdue back at number 1 after a couple losses of the teams that were ranked in front of them. If the NCAA tournament started today, and again, we got a long way to go until mid-March, but Purdue would be the overall number 1 seed, and they would get the winner of one of those play-in games.
I think that IU-Purdue game coming up in February is going to be epic. Because IU, are we like an IU again? Now they're on a roll. 3 in a row,
They've had a couple
right?
good wins. It feels like they're starting to learn how to play a little bit of defense anyway. So progress. And Trace Jackson Davis is carrying that Indiana team. So I was looking at the bracketology, if you want to call it that, earlier today. If the tournament started today, IU would be like a 9 seed playing that tough 8-9 game. Purdue would be a number 1 seed. So yeah, man, I'm liking what we're seeing so far.
What did you say tickets were going for the IU Purdue game in Bloomington in February?
Well, earlier in the season, just to get in the door was like over $600.
No way.
Just to sit up top in the rooftop, the up there by the banners at Assembly Hall.
Whoa.
But you got to keep in mind, it's a Saturday night. It's the biggest rivalry.
Yeah.
Purdue's the number 1 team in the country. Indiana's got one of the best players in the country. So I can see it, man.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, boy.
And this is what it's supposed to be like, right? Both teams, I hope they stay good. Now, this is coming from a neutral party, right? I'm a Tennessee Volunteers guy. I think the sport is better when IU and Purdue are both competitive and good. And when the Hoosiers go to Mackey Arena, I hope that place is rocking and rolling. And when Purdue goes to Assembly Hall, I think it should be the same. Like, that's college sports, man. That's what I want to see. Did you watch any of the football games?
Man,
yesterday?
really, really good playoff football past couple of weeks. I'm loving it, man. I wish the Cowboys would have won. That means I would have won my
financial interest involved in that.
Oh, man, can't I just win one? Just one time. But no, the games were awesome. I had a blast. Yeah. And looking forward to the AFC NFC title games next week.
So we've got 49ers at the Eagles and the Bengals at the Chiefs. And you know what's frustrating to me, just as a Colts fan, waking up on NFL Sundays and knowing your team doesn't have a chance in hell to win. Like, that stinks. We were so spoiled for a long time. Like, you'd wake up on Sunday and it didn't matter if you were playing the Jags or the Patriots. You knew, Peyton and Edge and Reggie Wayne and Marvin and Dwight Freeney and company, they were going to go out there and take care of business. You had a chance to win. You felt good every Sunday. Now, we just want to get a coach. I think you and I, Nigel, are the only 2 people in the city that haven't interviewed to be the head coach of the Colts yet.
I think House member Jim Banks, when he called the program, I anointed him the new coach of the Indianapolis Colts last week.
I mean, sooner or later, you have to hire somebody, right? They're putting these tweets out every single time they interview somebody, and there's like 15 different names so far. Let's go.
The Eagles -2.5, and then the Chiefs -1.5. These are going to be some close games, man.
I'm curious in terms of the betting aspect if Bengal fans are going to move that line, because there's a lot of people that feel like Joe Burrow is the dude.
Well, not only that, but Mahomes is on a limp stick.
Yeah, it's a high ankle sprain. If you've ever had one of those things, man, like for me personally, I wouldn't come to work for 3 weeks, but I'm 45 years old and fat. Patrick Mahomes plans to play this week, but how mobile is he going to be?
After that injury, he looked in bad shape. I mean, he still played great, but he didn't look himself.
No, there was a Chad Henne sighting. Chad Henne came in, led him to a score.
Yeah.
Let him do a touchdown drive. That's one of those dudes where I totally forgot he was even in the league. But again, as a Colts fan, we go through all these old dudes that can't do anything. Chad Henne's on the scrap heap. He comes in a playoff game, marches right down and gets a touchdown.
He did have some help around him, though.
Substantially better roster.
Yeah.
How did the Colts beat those guys? The Colts beat the Chiefs.
I forgot about that.
How did they beat those guys? There was some idiot that had a 15-yard penalty late in the game, but why was it even that close? It's crazy. So, yeah, I am looking forward to some action. Sam, we've got a story from Texas, and I need some mood music.
The stars at night
Yes.
are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
So the Texas DMV has rejected a license plate from a vegan because they said it's vulgar.
A vulgar vegan private license plate.
Correct.
Or personalized license plate.
According to a press release put out by PETA, because now PETA's involved, this vegan wanted to let everybody know that they loved tofu. And the license plate was LVTOFU. Some people would view that as love to F you. This person thought it was love tofu. The DMV said, no, that's not love tofu. That's love to F you.
It's a vegan, though. They're trying to show their love for tofu. I love tofu. Love tofu. But I could understand where love to F you might be. It might be
the spokesperson out of the Texas DMV says, quote, this contains a common acronym for a vulgar term. Now, they are appealing, and we'll see what happens. But
just if you have a dirty mind.
If you saw that in front of you, Nigel, what would be the first thing you think of? Vulgar plate or, hey, that's a vegan?
F you.
That's what I thought, too. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration. Instead of weight loss, we're calling it body fat percentage. Dr. Prather, why is that important?
It's more how the physiology works. Fat is like an organ. There is a certain amount that should be in your body. If that goes too low or too high, then that's not healthy. Again, homeostasis. Homeostasis is balance. The fat percentage that you have has a huge effect on the pH of your body, the hormones, how the whole system works. Fat percentage is one of the major things in your overall health picture. And we do what's called the body composition analysis. We get within 2% accuracy on your fat percentage, which is a much better picture than the BMI, body mass index. So we do it in a much more accurate way than almost every other doctor's office out there.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Why now with Window Nation? Man, it's home show season. Window Nation's bringing a home show savings to you. 0% financing for 5 years. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Plus, you can save up huge on your heating bills with new energy-efficient Window Nation windows like I have installed in my house. They also increase the value of your home.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. And it's any style. And the best part, there's no limit. Buy 2, get 2 for free. Buy 4, get 4 for free. Plus, no interest for 5 years. You're going to save thousands of dollars with the deal, and you'll see your energy costs in your bill go down because your windows are energy efficient. I know this because I am a customer. Call Window Nation right now. At least set up a time to get some more information. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel.
The Indianapolis Home Show, January 20th through 29th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds and Event Center. 10 days only for great deals, new ideas, and practical advice with trusted local experts. Tour the Centerpiece Home, crafted by custom container builders. Plus, see HGTV stars and twin sisters Leslie Davis and Lindsay Lamb from Unsellable Houses. From kitchens and baths to landscaping and more. Don't miss the Indianapolis Home Show. Save on tickets at IndianapolisHomeshow.com. Discount courtesy of Central Indiana Chevy dealers.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You're going to see snow this week, 32 degrees and cloudy on Monument Circle. There's nothing on your radar, a low of 29 tonight. So winter storm watch goes into effect Wednesday morning. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. There's a winter storm coming this week that's going to affect your travel plans.
We're definitely in a pattern where it looks like it's a pretty widespread snow event that's upcoming for the middle part of the week.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says some places could see between 6 and 12 inches of snow by Wednesday night. There was a fatal crash that killed 2 people on the south side last night, says IMPD. The wreck happened at the intersection of Meridian Street and Southport Road when an Acura ran a red light and hit the driver's side of another car.
Slow down, take your time, allow extra time to get to wherever you're going.
IMPD Captain Don Weilhammer. Police believe alcohol may have been a factor. The crash is still being investigated. Police say 2 people are in custody after a shooting at a charter school in Des Moines, Iowa this afternoon. At least 3 people were hurt in the shooting, 2 of them critical. The identities of the suspects in custody have not been released yet. 4 members of the Oath Keepers have been convicted of seditious conspiracy for their actions January 6th. Jared Halpern reports.
A federal jury has convicted 4 members of the Oath Keepers on charges of seditious conspiracy stemming from the January 6th, 2021 Capitol riot. It's the second conviction for the Justice Department in a trial against group members. The Oath Keepers leader, Stuart Rhodes, was convicted in a separate trial weeks ago. Prosecutors say Oath Keepers intended to use force to keep former President Trump in office. Defense attorneys argued there was no plan and downplayed messages as bluster. The Justice Department is also pursuing sedition convictions against members of the Proud Boys. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Over $200 million has been invested in Fort Benjamin Harrison and Lawrence. Inside Indiana Business's Gary Dick explains where that money's going.
New cultural district. There is a new $70 million high-end apartment complex. There are restaurants, retail. It is a new place, and as Mayor Steve Collier told me, that's going to be the new city center, if you will, the center of the city of Lawrence.
Talking to WIBC's Tony Katz, during the pandemic, the city focused on supporting locally owned restaurants, which helped attract further investments. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Does runaway inflation and reckless spending in Washington have you worried about the security of your hard-earned retirement savings? If so, it's time to call the precious metals experts at Fisher Capital. Fisher Capital specializes in helping investors like you diversify their retirement portfolio and preserve wealth with physical gold and silver. Whether you're looking to acquire coins or bars, open a gold IRA, or just want to learn more about the advantages of owning precious metals, Fisher Capital will equip you with the knowledge to make an informed decision that's right for you and your family. Call Fisher Capital today at 800-376-4333. That's 800-376-4333. Mention WIBC when you call to get a free no-obligation investor kit. 800-376-4333. 800-376-4333. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Don't lose another night's sleep worrying about the security of your retirement savings. Call Fisher Capital. 800-376-4333.
With traffic at 3:34, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, east side crash, southbound 465 at I-70, pushed to the left shoulder. But man, this is a mess. They had to get garbage out of the interstate because a garbage can got destroyed, and that was a mess. So stop and go traffic back to Penn Pike and eastbound 465 on the south side slows White River over to Harding. Traffic sponsored by Walgreens. Walgreens wants to make it easy to refill your Medicare prescriptions. They offer 90-day refills, refill by scan, even save a trip refills. Fill your way at Walgreens. Exclusions may apply. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, low temperatures dropping back into the upper 20s. As we head into the day on Tuesday, mostly cloudy, high temperatures around 40 degrees. Our next winter storm arriving Tuesday night into Wednesday. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Wilford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Guy Relford is the licensed firearms instructor and a Second Amendment attorney, joining us for Monday Gun Day. Guy, how are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks as always to our sponsor, Fort Liberty Firearms in Avon, 8401 East Highway 36. Great place to buy firearms, ammunition, and accessories. Check out my buddies at the Fort at FortLibertyFirearms.com.
Hammer, did you say we lost another person in the shootings in Los Angeles? So the total is up to 11.
11 is the death toll now.
Let me start here, Guy. 11 people dead in this mass shooting at the Lunar New Year celebration near Los Angeles over the weekend. All the victims were Asian. The shooter is dead too. He's an elderly Asian man. A couple of things jumped out immediately. Secondary, of course, to just the atrocity. People immediately jumped to race hate with no details whatsoever on social media, and then we find out that it's a 70-plus-year-old Asian man that did this horrific act, and then it turned to again taking guns out of law-abiding citizens' hands. You had Shannon Watts of Moms Demand Action saying, quote, "If more guns and more places made us safer, America would be the safest country on earth. Instead, the U.S. gun homicide rate is 26 times that of our peer nations." Your initial thoughts?
Well, I mean, a couple of things. One is whenever you see people like Shannon Watts using those kind of comparisons or statistics, always dig into them a little bit and ask what countries she's comparing us to. Because what they do is they cherry pick the list, come out and come up with those kind of numbers to say, oh, look, if you compare us to these European countries where there's never been a history of gun ownership at all, and you limit it to firearm-related homicides, well, of course, there are not going to be very many because they just simply don't allow their citizens to carry firearms there. So that, when you look at other industrialized nations and whatnot, United States is well down the list, in fact, when it comes to number of mass shootings, homicides per capita, and other things. So be wary of those kind of statistics, no matter who's throwing them out. But the question that anyone reacting to Shannon Watts should have is, well, Shannon, what law would you propose in the United States? I mean, here I guess you just retired as the head of Moms Demand Action, big gun control group out pushing for different gun control laws all across the country. What law would you like to see in the United States that California doesn't have? Ask her that question.
It seems like a lot of these happen in states with really tight gun control or in gun-free zones.
Well, exactly, because what you're doing is you're restricting law-abiding citizens from having the capacity to defend themselves. When these things try to unfold in places like, say, Greenwood, Indiana, you can have a dramatically different result. But California is the cornucopia of gun control. Yeah. California has the wish list. Everything Shannon Watts has ever proposed at any level, state, local, federal, California's got it already. They've got an assault weapon ban. They've got high-capacity magazine ban. They've got, you name it, waiting limits. Waiting periods. They've got absolute high-capacity magazine. You name it. Everything across the board Shannon Watts has ever asked for, California has it, and we still had a mass shooting. So how does she turn around and look at you in the eye with any credibility whatsoever and say, well, we just need to pass more laws and we can keep people safe, and then give California as an example? It's ludicrous.
That's a great question on what would have stopped this.
Sure.
Because, again, we don't know the official motive here. There are some reports that this may have been a domestic type of thing. Don't know that for sure yet. But what law would have been in place that would have stopped this? Can we make this an argument about the type of weapon that he used? Is that what California and people like Shannon Watts are trying to talk about here?
Based on bit of reporting I've seen, the gun he used was illegal in California. It was a pistol, but it's called a MAC-10. Well, it's a later version of what we used to call a MAC-10. I don't know if you know, it's similar to another gun called a Tech-9. If you know these, they're you see them in videos. You see them; they're kind of glorified in gang culture. They're crappy, lousy, horrible guns. They're unreliable as hell. If anybody showed up to one of my classes with one of these things, I would literally not let them take the class. But they're designed to be high capacity. In other words, a lot of times they come with long what we call stick magazines, big long magazines. They're usually can be 30 rounds or so. In fact, the law enforcement official down there who made a press statement said this was a quote unquote high capacity semi-automatic assault pistol with an extended magazine. And when I first read that, I went, oh, high capacity assault pistol. Oh, come on. It's probably going to be a Glock 19 with a 15 round magazine. No, it's called a Cobra M11. It's kind of a descendant because of changes in ownership of what we call a MAC-10. It looks like a quote-unquote machine pistol, and they tend to come with long extended magazines. But if it has more than 10 rounds in a magazine in California, it's illegal. And they already said it had an extended magazine, so we know on that basis it's illegal. They had that law in California. They passed it, much I'm sure to Shannon Watt's delight when they passed it, did absolutely nothing to stop a criminal, and that's what gun control proponents just can't get through their heads.
It's almost, hear me out, as if crazy bastards will break the law regardless.
Yeah, shocking, right?
Shocking.
Yeah, but if you just pass that one more law, Jason, then somebody,
sure.
At some point, everybody's just going to follow in line.
Well, I think the other thing is, I mean, sometimes I feel like these guys aren't being honest, or even scared to come out and say what they really think about what they want to happen with guns in the United States.
Exactly.
They won't. I mean, just come out and say you want guns banned.
Well, no, exactly.
Just every gun, you don't want people to have them in their possession. Just come out.
Except for the government, of course.
Yeah, except for the government.
Well, no, that nails it. I mean, Nigel, you just completely nailed it. But they can't just say ban all guns because they know we have a Second Amendment. We know we have a Supreme Court that has now defined the Second Amendment in a way that wouldn't allow them to come anywhere close to accomplishing that. But at the end of the day, the arguments you really hear, specifically to your point, is just guns are bad. And they can't argue as to any specific proposal that they have on the table that would have prevented a shooting, particularly when you're talking about a state like California that has every damn thing under the sun when it comes to gun control.
It's Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford is here. So let's bring our attention closer here to our backyard, the Indiana General Assembly. I believe this is the second week of trying to get some things done here. And it sounds like some of the Democrats in the House are trying to move some anti-gun legislation forward.
We hear a lot in a lot of different contexts of, politicians are all the same and none of them care about your constitutional rights and it doesn't really matter what party you vote for. Let me tell you, when it comes to gun rights in Indiana, if you're paying any attention whatsoever, comes to your constitutional rights, there's one party out there working to protect your rights, advance your rights. I know because I work on a lot of this legislation directly, and there's one party trying really, really hard to eliminate as many of your constitutional freedoms under the Second Amendment as they possibly can, and that's the Democrat Party. And let me give you some examples. I pulled up the list of what gun control, because I talked when I formed the Two-Way Project. People said, oh, well, Guy, we're in Indiana. Nobody's really trying to do anything that would restrict our rights. Really? Let me talk to you a little bit about bills that we have. And cut me off here anytime, guys, because I could go on for 2 more segments on everything that's been filed. But just in the Senate.
In the state of Indiana only.
In the state of Indiana, filed this year. They're all pending right now. They're still live, and they still could be advanced theoretically. Lonnie Randolph, Democrat from Indianapolis, has Senate Bill 149 that would make any privately made firearm illegal, a level 5 felony. And this is simply if you buy the components, they can be serialized. Like when I've built 4 or 5 now AR-15s where I bought the parts and I assembled them. Because I built the different. I built the rifle from the different components that I wanted. Some components have advantages over others. I would be a felon, according to Senator Lonnie Randolph because I simply bought, including a serialized lower, meaning I had to go through a background check. It has a serial number on it because I assembled the parts to make this firearm. He would make me a level 5 felon, Lonnie Randolph, Democrat. My buddy J.D. Ford, who is actually my senator, right?
Zionsville.
I live in Zionsville. He's your senator.
Yeah.
Okay. He says if your gun is lost or stolen, there's now going to be a criminal penalty if you don't report that within 30 days. Real problem when I open this up, because I always tell people your gun's lost or stolen. Yeah, you need to report it. Why should we not criminalize that? There's nothing in his bill that would indicate, for instance, that you even knew it was stolen.
That's a moron. This guy's an idiot.
Can I tell you my Ford story? He recently came to Beech Grove High School, and he wanted to speak to the kids about, politics and questions. And he spoke to one group, the Pride Club, did not speak to the student council and the class president. Class president is Chris Hammer. So young Chris Hammer was a little upset. He didn't get to go toe-to-toe with Mr. Ford here.
Yeah, and get this. So if I don't report my gun lost or stolen within the time period, particularly stolen, and even if I don't even know it's stolen, let's say, you vacation winners a lot of time, off in the Caribbean or somewhere, Jason, and somebody may break into your house. There's no requirement that you even know it's been stolen before J.D. Ford wants to punish you with his bill for not reporting your gun stolen within a particular period of time.
Let's take a quick break and come back because I want to go through some more of these.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch more.
Time.
Yeah, you guys cut me off anytime.
All right, Guy Relford's here. We're going to bring him back for another segment. Don't go anywhere. Come on back. We're talking about your constitutional rights, what's going on at the Indiana State House, and more. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, this is Rob.
And this is Casey.
Ben Savage is running for Congress.
We'll talk about it Tuesday, 9 until noon on 93 WIBC.
5.5%. Where can you get 5.5% on your money today? You're certainly not going to get it at the bank. And who knows what will happen next with the stock market. But for a limited time, you can get 5.5% guaranteed for 3 years. That's right. You can get 5.5% on your money guaranteed for 3 years. And it's backed by some of the largest, most trusted insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy, at 317-972-9172. This is your chance to lock in a great interest rate before they start falling. Learn how you could get 5.5% on your money guaranteed for 3 years. Call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
What I love about working at Shane Company is that there's always something new going on. New things to look at, new jewelry for you to try on, new offerings. In addition to our great selection of natural diamonds, we recently brought in lab-grown diamonds. A lab-grown diamond has all the same properties as a natural diamond. It's a real diamond, just as beautiful, and made in a lab. You can't tell the difference. I invite you to come in and see for yourself. At Shane Company, you can compare two diamonds side by side and decide what's right for you. We offer the largest selection of natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds. Choose from 10 beautiful shapes and a wide range of sizes, all hand-selected by our diamond experts for quality, beauty, and sparkle. Whether you choose a natural diamond or a lab-grown diamond, you can be sure it'll be absolutely gorgeous. So visit us today. We can't wait to show you what's new.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hey, Janie. You know what one of my favorite things about high school sports is? Seeing young fans in the stands cheering on their community.
I love watching elementary-age kids wearing their team's colors, holding up homemade signs, faces painted, just full of hopes and dreams. I'm Janie Ulmer.
And I'm Brian Lewis. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. We're also both former student athletes who were once those young fans in the stands. dreaming about wearing a jersey for our high school one day.
When you support high school sports, you protect the next generation's dream of representing their high school with pride.
And you ensure the invaluable learning experience of education-based athletics is available for years to come.
So buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events, because it doesn't just support today's student athletes.
It supports tomorrow's too.
This is investing in your community. This is protecting their dream. This is your IHSAA.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
East side, southbound 465 at I-70. Crash left shoulder backed up to Penn Pike, and a crash south of Franklin on northbound 65 at State Road 44. That's going to be a few miles south of 44. Left lane is blocked with a 2-mile backup. Traffic sponsored by SRGExpress.com. The specialized recruiting group takes an individual approach, replacing people in contract and full-time roles. SRGExpress.com now placing in accounting roles. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right now we've got cloudy skies, 34 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Guy Relford in studio with us, Monday Gun Day. We were talking about some of the bills that have been filed at the Indiana State House where they're trying in a roundabout way for some gun control here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about roundabout. It's pretty direct.
What was that one we were just talking about? You lose your gun and you're a criminal after 30 days if you don't report it?
Yeah.
But what if you don't?
Even if you don't even know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's your senator and mine, J.D. Ford. So that's our representation in the Indiana Senate. There's kind of a new player in here, and this gentleman apparently was just elected in 2020 as a senator representing the northwest side of Indianapolis, Fadi Kadura. And if I'm mispronouncing that, I sincerely apologize. But Senator Kadura has filed a bill that would amend the neglect of a dependent statute, and we've talked about that in the context of the Beech Grove situation where a toddler was videoed in possession of a gun. This guy has now introduced a bill that says if I simply store my gun in an area that's accessible to a dependent that I have, I store my gun in an area that's accessible to my dependent. Okay, unless it's in a safe or otherwise locked up, I'm guilty of neglect of a dependent, which is a felony.
Wow.
Consider that. He, by the way, not to be outdone by that, he also has filed a bill that would repeal constitutional carry.
Oh, okay.
We've only fought for that for 10 years in the state. Finally got it done, but he's not the only one. Eddie Melton, another Democrat, has also filed a bill that would repeal constitutional carry. Would also ban the sale of rifles and shotguns to anybody who's not 21.
It's kind of a catch-22 here because Joe Hogsett and the gang, they love to do that victory lap about homicides being down last year, but also constitutional carry became law last year. So on one hand, they like the fact that they can say, look at us, our crime numbers are going down. Oh, wait, it's because of constitutional carry and law-abiding citizens can actually fight back? Damn it.
Oh, yeah. Our buddy Russ McQuaid, who, was kind of my antithesis from his TV station, whoever he's working for now, was criticizing constitutional carry and said, well, we'll have to see what the trend is on shooting in Indianapolis. And again, it only went into effect July 1. And from that point, shootings went down. And then all of a sudden, you didn't hear much more about constitutional carry from Russ, which I thought was interesting. But, that's just a sampling, guys. There are two different bills that would repeal constitutional carry.
Any of them got a chance of getting through?
I don't think anything does. My point, though, is if you don't think elections matter, and if you don't think who has the majority in the House and the Senate in the Indiana General Assembly, just take a look. If you care at all about your Second Amendment rights, look at what Democrats are trying to do to your Second Amendment rights every single year. And I only went through what's going on in the Senate. I haven't even talked about what's been filed in the House. So it's a big deal, and we need to be forever steadfast against this stuff.
If somebody has any questions for you, what's the best way they can find you?
RelfordLaw.com is the website. Best way to get a hold of me, RelfordLaw.com.
You got a show coming up?
I do. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, I'm on a roll. I've had like 3 or 4 shows in a row now after the holidays, and yeah, we got a lot to talk about. A lot going on at the federal level. A lot going on here in the State House, and we're not giving up on playing offense too. One of these days, I come back for Monday Gunday. We'll talk about the Pro 2A bills that we also have pending that do have a fighting chance.
Guy Relford, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
So, the other day, I bought an extremely chatty...
Boring story time!
Make that an extremely catty cockatoo.
You're welcome!
Apparently, the pet store won't take it back. But, hey, I'll manage.
I love that for you!
Just like I manage without home internet.
No, you don't!
Sure, my mobile hotspot is slow and makes streaming shows unbearable.
Aw, Bertie likes to stream!
But I'm making do. Oh no, who's this?
My lady friend! It's mating season, duh!
No home internet? It's not that bad.
No, not there.
It is that bad. Don't settle. Switch to Xfinity and get 1 line of unlimited mobile and home internet together for $50 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit your local Xfinity store today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account, equipment tax, and fees extra. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes of data usage. Offer ends 3/21/23.
I don't always black out when I'm drunk.
My kids can't tell that I'm high, so it's okay.
I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink in the morning.
I still have a job, so my drug use isn't a problem.
I can stop using whenever I want.
Don't ignore the signs of addiction. You don't have to wait until it's too late to get help. At Landmark Recovery, we're here to provide affordable and effective addiction treatment. Call 866-LANDMARK or visit landmarkrecovery.com to get help today.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. Periodic maintenance works, especially when it comes to your well and well pump. And C&J Well can schedule your preventive 6-point well care today, including a thorough piping exam, a switch analysis, a pressure tank check, a flow evaluation, and an AMPS test on the pump, and a bacteria sampling. Normally $450, but it's $100 off right now for $350. Keep your water source healthy and dependable. C&J Well Company. They're local, they're exceptional, they're affordable. 317-852-WELL or go to cjforwater.com.
My name is Megan Davis, and I am the Director of Training and Communications here at the Humane Society for Hamilton County. We nominated Trudy because she truly embodies our mission and message of whatever it takes.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
I think what the most important thing to me is when we get dogs in that are so scared, I just love to take these dogs under my wing. I need my vehicle to be in top shape because I'm driving here 6 days a week.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year, whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies or drives somewhere to serve on site. Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at jiffylubeindiana.com.
Woodard, Emhart, Henry, Reeves, and Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
My grades were bad.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of.
There are students who need somebody.
Communities in Schools is helping more than 1.3 million kids get whatever they need to succeed in school. You can help change the picture of education at communitiesinschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
The new year is here. Time for a change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand IT field with My Computer Career. In just months, already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a snowstorm is on its way to Indiana this week. Indy Metro Police say they're frustrated with the recent gun violence in the city to start the year and why 2 teenage boys were arrested. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
She won't go there. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The president has said many times he takes this very seriously. You've heard directly from him.
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre referring questions to White House lawyers after a 4th batch of classified material was found. The latest batch at the president's home in Wilmington, Delaware, includes documents from his time as a U.S. senator.
Look, I think as it relates to the American people and the president standing with the American people, it is going to be up to them to decide how they see this president.
The White House counsel's office has said Friday's 13-hour FBI search happened after the president said to offer access to the Justice Department, which is reportedly considering a search of his beach house in Delaware as well. Meantime, Jean-Pierre today not confirming reports that Ron Klain is set to step down as White House chief of staff. She calls him an incredible leader. A mass shooting over the weekend in California is now blamed for 11 deaths. Hospital officials confirming that one of the wounded has died. The gunman killed himself in a van hours later as police were approaching.
Authorities say the suspect, 72-year-old Hu Can Tran, lived in Hemet, about an hour and a half southeast of Monterey Park, where the shooting took place.
Fox's Christina Coleman in Monterey Park. Now the search for a motive continues. Police not confirming reports it may have stemmed from a domestic dispute related to the gunman's ex-wife. A second win for the Justice Department in a trial of far-right extremists over the Capitol riot. 4 members of the Oath Keepers found guilty of seditious conspiracy after the group's leader was convicted by another jury recently. Members of another group, the Proud Boys, are also standing trial, accused of plotting to use force to keep President Trump in power. In each case, the defense has argued there was no plan to attack the Capitol. Wall Street rallies, the Dow up 253 at the bell. That's off session highs. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When you're going to see snow, 32 degrees and cloudy in downtown Indy. Your radar's clear. The low tonight is 29. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. It snowed Sunday, and it's going to snow again, just a little bit heavier this time.
Yeah, it looks like at this point, probably by the time we get to Tuesday night, it'll be late in the evening, but more likely once we get closer to midnight, that's when the snow will start.
And it'll last until Wednesday night before easing up, says Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service. He says most places in central Indiana and northern Indiana will get at least 4 inches of snow and possibly more. Indianapolis Police Chief Randall Taylor wants to put a dent in crimes involving guns in the Circle City, but says his detectives can only do so much. Chief Taylor says he needs witnesses and community tips to put the right suspects behind bars.
And I would like to applaud those community members who have taken time to step out and help us with these cases. Information that they've given has helped us to make some very good arrests, and we appreciate that.
Indianapolis has nearly 150 unsolved murders left over from last year. 2 teenage boys have been arrested in a shooting that injured a 15-year-old girl earlier this month in a neighborhood north of I-70 near the 30th Street and Franklin Road intersection. Police believe the boys were playing with a gun when the girl was shot. One of them is 17 and faces several charges, including criminal recklessness. The other suspect, who's 15, is charged with dangerous possession of a firearm. The Fort Benjamin Harrison, a former Army base in northeast Marion County, is undergoing a transformation into a live, work, and play environment.
You know, we use those terms, live, work, play environment, a lot, maybe overly so, but communities all over the state trying to create this live, work, play environment. And the folks in Lawrence feel as though they have done that or are doing that with Fort Harrison.
Inside Indiana Business's Gary Dick talking to WIBC's Tony Katz. $200 million has been invested in Lawrence over the last 5 years. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Home Shows provide homeowners the deepest discounts of the year on remodeling projects. And right now, Window Nation is bringing the Home Show savings right into your house. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, no limit. Plus, pay no interest for 60 months.
Use their free virtual visualizer at windownation.com/home show. Upload a picture of your house and try out hundreds of options online. Get design tips from the experts and learn how Window Nation's trained installation specialists have helped over 150,000 homes with over 96% customer satisfaction rates. But remember, these once-a-year home show savings are for a very limited time. Call Window Nation today, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/home show. Get 2 windows free with every 2 that you buy. Pay no interest for 60 months. That's 5 full years. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/home show.
With traffic on the 5s at 405, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison East Side, southbound 465 at I-70 crash on the left shoulder. Stop and go traffic back to Penn Pike. And then we are south of Franklin, northbound 65, south of State Road 44 crash blocking the left lane, backing us up for 2 miles from the crash site. And also northeast side westbound lanes a little bit slow, 69 over to Allisonville. Traffic sponsored by Fresh Time Market. This week at Fresh Time Market, save on a full dry pint of blueberries, just $1.99 now through January 24th. Get real. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Hammer and Nigel have your forecast next with Wish TV's Marcus Bailey. I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Hammer's over there. I'm Nigel. We'll go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on the birthday boy, Marcus Bailey, meteorologist, Wish TV. I know, am I a day late on the birthday?
Yeah,
Marcus?
but hey, when you get to our age, who cares?
Are you the big 4 too?
42.
Right on, man.
Yeah,
How did
and my hairline says 50-something. So.
How did you celebrate? Go out to eat? Family?
So we went to a gymnastics competition for my daughter on Saturday evening, and we did absolutely nothing yesterday on my birthday, which is exactly what I wanted to do. It was awesome.
That is perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. That was the calm before the literal storm here.
Yeah.
The next couple of days, not looking real pretty. So what is the latest? What do we know as of right now, Marcus?
Okay, and I'll preface this by saying there are still a lot of details we need to iron out here, but looks like probably our first real significant snowstorm of the season. Now, that's not saying much, considering what we've had. But we do have a winter storm watch in place. It's not the entire state. It's basically central and northern Indiana, the entire metro, the donut counties plus Marion County, all included, and everything kind of riding along I-70 and points north. Now, this is going to go for all day on Wednesday. I think, guys, this is going to kind of come in a couple of waves here. You're going to get a wave coming in late Tuesday night in southern Indiana. It's probably going to start as rain and then flip the switch to snow, and that could creep as far north as, say, Bloomington or Columbus, and you'll get some accumulation of that. You're going to get a secondary wave deep into the overnight, late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, and that's when everybody else is kind of in this here, where we'll have some pretty heavy, wet snow that's going to fill in through the overnight. I think the morning drive is going to be very difficult for Wednesday morning, and we'll continue to keep that snow accumulation kind of going around through much of the morning hours. What I'm going with now is kind of a broad brush, guys. As low as 4 inches, as high as 8 inches in that watch area, and that includes the Indy metro area. I think there's going to be a real sharp cutoff when you get south of there. I have kind of a 1 to 4 inch range, and then down closer to the river, Ohio River, it's only around an inch. So there's going to be a pretty sharp decline in terms of the snowfall accumulations on this one.
And again, will the drive home tomorrow evening, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, be affected in any way? Or are we thinking, as of right now, that the majority of this precipitation is not going to come until the late night hours?
Right now, the way I see it, Hammer, is all day, both morning and evening drive for Tuesday should be fine. I think the precip, as of right now, unless this kind of speeds up a little bit, most of the indications don't even have some of the precipitation in southern Indiana until around 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow night, which that would be a little bit later for the rest of central Indiana for that to arrive, probably closer to or after midnight into early Wednesday morning. So I think for the vast majority of the state, as it stands right now, I think this is going to be mainly Wednesday event. But I am concerned about the Wednesday morning drive for sure, because we're going to be kind of in the heart of it. And the Wednesday evening drive is probably going to be a little difficult too, because we'll have some of that accumulating snow already on the ground, and you may still have some lighter snow that's flying around by the afternoon evening drive on Wednesday.
Anything we have to worry about after Wednesday?
Nothing too significant right now. I think you've got on the back end, as sometimes you do on these bigger systems, you get on kind of wraps around these lows, you'll get some scattered light snow. There's no brutal blast of cold. And there's nothing that indicates to me that we're going to get like some significant bands of snow that's going to pile up. But I do think some flurries or some light snow showers on the back end on Thursday is possible. We may see that again a little bit on Friday before we kind of dry things out Friday night heading into Saturday.
Now, Marcus, the last time we got a little bit of accumulating snow, we had bitter, nasty, cold temperatures to go along with it. What kind of temperatures are we looking at here?
So it's a good question, and it kind of goes back to what I kind of started this segment off with, is that this isn't set in stone, and there's a lot of details we need to iron out. So the numbers in terms of the temperatures are probably going to hover around freezing. And what that means is that there's going to be some back and forth. Now, right now, our thinking is that the back and forth between snow and rain is probably going to be in the southern portion of the state. But anytime, if you get a switchover, that's going to greatly hinder the numbers in terms of snowfall, which is why I have such a kind of a wide range here. The other thing that I should mention when it comes to temperatures is, we've been really mild. We kind of got back to average this weekend. We've been really mild. So it's going to be tough for some of this snow to initially stick. So I think there's going to be kind of a difference between how much snow actually falls and how much snow actually accumulates, if that makes sense, because some of it will melt. If you do kind of make a switch over a little bit to rain, some of that will get washed. And so there will be some kind of greatly differing numbers when it comes to snowfall accumulation. But bottom line is, I've mentioned this to you guys several times, regardless of the back and forth or how much or whatever, a lot of this is going to happen during the Wednesday morning drive. And that's really the point I want to stress, that even if it's only an inch, that can create some problems, let alone if you get 5, 6, 7 or more for the morning drive on Wednesday. And I think that's going to make things pretty difficult.
Marcus Bailey, if we need some more coverage and we want some more information, how do we find you? Where do we go?
You can hit me up on social media. It's Marcus Bailey Weather on Facebook, and then @ Marcus Bailey on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, I'll be on Daybreak on Wish TV starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
Marcus, you're the best. Thank you.
Thanks,
and happy
Marcus.
belated birthday.
Thanks, fellas. I appreciate you.
Nigel, we got two things going for us here in Indy when it comes to the weather. Number one, Boss Hogsett has announced his re-election bid. And I'm telling you, if you've lived in the city long enough, you know the roads are never better than when the mayor is running for election. Like in the past, they'd be like, snow plow, schmo plow, who gives a damn? But when he's running for re-election and there's a Democratic primary challenger, you're going to see all systems go when it comes to the roads. At least we should.
Not a pothole in sight.
Right. So we've got that going, but we can't stress this enough. We live in Indiana. It snows. Act like you've been here before. There's no need to freak out. There's no need to drive 2 miles per hour, swerving, taking up every lanes. Just be cool and act like you've been here before. There's a great ad campaign from Michigan. The people that bring you the Pure Michigan commercials.
Sure, yeah.
They put out a tongue-in-cheek little commercial about people who kind of forget how to drive and handle the snow.
Every winter in Michigan feels like the first. That first ride down the hill. That first perfectly built snowman. That first snowball fight. And Michiganders can't help but have that first-time feeling with winter, because one day it's clear and sunny, and the next is a goddamn blizzard. Their first touch of snow is so cold and blistering that it can kill a senior citizen in under 2 minutes.
Oh!
Their first sight of a salt truck occurs 3 weeks after the roads have already turned to ice. And in Michigan, they all drive like it's their first winter, handling the roads at a top speed of 4 miles per hour. That is, except for the crazy bastards in their trucks and SUVs. When winter virgins. Idiots. Pure Michigan.
Don't be a winter virgin.
We can identify for sure.
So a couple days ago, I think it was late last week, Nige, we had a poll that showed that Ron DeSantis was beating the brakes off of Donald Trump in a hypothetical primary.
Blowout. Right.
Now, according to the Harvard Caps Harris poll, completely the opposite. Donald Trump, 20% lead over Ron DeSantis.
That's why, I guess polls are fun to talk about a year and a half away from the election, but they're just completely worthless. Aren't they?
Even the week of the election, some are worthless.
Yeah. Just for God's sake, honestly, it's the complete opposite of what we were talking about and the polling we were looking at last week. It was DeSantis blowout, no question about it. DeSantis over Trump, and now what you're telling me is a different. I thought, what was that? I think it was another Ivy League poll that we had last week. Whatever. This Harvard Harris poll, Trump came in 20 points ahead of his closest challenger.
Right.
Who was, by the way, Ron DeSantis, Florida Gov.
Did you see Ron DeSantis making the rounds at the Kansas City Chiefs and Jags game?
Yeah, at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a rock star, man. He went to the away game, had his family with him.
Supporting the Jags.
And was going around high-fiving Kansas City fans leaving the stadium.
Right. They were all yelling at him, "Run for president!"
Yes.
And he's like laughing and high-fiving people. And again, there's a popularity with the dude.
Yeah, man.
But it's crazy. 2 polls a week apart. Donald Trump blowout win. Ron DeSantis blowout win. Okay. Polls are worthless right now. All right, Matt Baer, what is going on?
Looking in Franklin, Johnson County crash northbound 65 south of State Road 44. This is a jackknife semi blocking the left lane right now and causing a delay 2 miles long. South side eastbound 465 stop and go from 70 over to Harding Street. Traffic sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest tax refund, plus a chance to double your refund with the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal return ends 4/2/23. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
33 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Get ready for fun. Is this anything? Next.
Kendall and Casey.
Elon Musk. He set the world record for losing the most personal wealth. This is now in the Guinness Book of World Records. He lost approximately $182 billion. $182 billion. That's with a B. He does not care.
Kendall and Casey. Weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
When you hear Diamonds Direct, it's not just a catchy name designed to give the illusion of value. Our name is who we really are. Diamonds Direct was started by diamond cutters a quarter of a century ago. At our very core is a commitment to cut out the middleman and deliver extreme value in exquisite diamonds. Today, that's more true than ever, with our direct access to diamonds straight from the mines. Diamonds that we then cut and polish. Exquisite diamonds up to 15 and 20 carats in all shapes and sizes. It's an advantage other jewelers only dream of. By overseeing the entire process, we know for a fact Diamonds Direct is truly direct. So this year, as value becomes more important than ever, rest assured that Diamonds Direct's unique status in the world diamond market guarantees you the best no middleman direct importer price, period. And even with this extreme value promise, at Diamonds Direct you still get an unbeatable selection, transparent education, a luxurious shopping experience, superior customer service, no compromises. It's not having a cool name or clever advertising, it's the truth. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
We've been talking about Singer Financial for a long time. It's pretty exciting news to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm, and they are passionate with helping people in their retirement goals. People that want to retire with purpose. People that want to have time to enjoy life.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They'll deliver to you customized framework that allows you to create whatever the vision you have of retirement is. Make your visions become reality with the Howard Bailey team. Howard Bailey is a growing firm. They've got a youthful, energetic founder, cutting-edge planning process. So if you're ready to plan for your best retirement, go see the Howard Bailey difference. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
You don't have to go through yet another year with that knee pain or back pain. Hoosiers with chronic joint pain are getting real lasting relief from QC Kinetics. Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. Their unique protocols use healing agents from your own body to target aching joints, repairing and restoring damaged tissue so you can move again with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. You got shoulder pain, excruciating hip pain. If you have any arthritis pain or lingering pain from an injury, don't let them operate on you and say no to the pain pills. Call QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. See if their life-changing all-natural treatments can get you living your best life in this new year. I'm telling you, people right here in Indy are raving about these treatments, and appointments are available as soon as next week. Make 2023 the year you say goodbye to joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now in Eagle Creek and Greenwood, and coming soon to Carmel. Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN.
Better sleep can change your life. That's because sleep is a core pillar of health, just like nutrition and exercise. So if you're not getting enough of it, ZQL invites you to take our Better Sleep to Better Health Challenge. Get weekly sleep tips and explore how ZQL, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, can help you. ZQL's Better Sleep to Better Health Challenge. Visit ZQL.com.
Find ZQL at Walmart or Walmart.com and start your journey to better sleep today.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? We can help. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I want to talk about your discomfort. Did you know that your feet have 1/4 of all the bones in your whole body? With 4 arches, 33 joints, and over 100 ligaments and tendons in each foot, it's no wonder so many people suffer from foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Stop throwing your money away on all those over-the-counter products and expensive shoes that just can't do what the Good Feet store can. At America's Arch Support Store, we teach you everything you need to know about how our patented 3-step system will work to solve your problems so you can get back to living the life you love without your pain getting in the way. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk and trade in those bad feet for some good feet. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options at the Good Feet store. We're in Fishers and Greenwood. Call 829-1040 or visit goodfeet.com to make your appointment today. Get back to doing what you love with Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
This Valentine's Day, the perfect gift is at PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms in Brownsburg. You're going to find that one-of-a-kind piece without breaking the bank. Unique vintage pieces of jewelry dating back to the 1800s. One-of-a-kind pieces from local jewelers. And they also have those wow factor diamonds if you're looking to make this Valentine's Day something special. A big jewelry selection without the big jewelry price. It's more than a kiss. 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg. 317-858-3030 online at premierarms.com.
Hopefully, you'll never have a house or business fire. But if you do, hopefully, you'll never forget this name, Michaelis. They can be there before that lump in your throat goes away. In fact, they're the reason it goes away. Over 35 years of helping people recover from faulty wiring, lightning strikes, or that unattended pot of pasta on the stove. Michaelis crews often roll in before the fire hoses are rolled up. Their proven process of water extraction, smoke removal, and content storage will calm your nerves. Then their talented craftsmen will rebuild your home and restore your spirits. That starts by being your advocate with the insurance company. You'll find Michaelis doesn't just feel for you, they work for you. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I will run a couple different stories your way. You tell all of us if the story is really anything or not. Is this anything? Someone who works customer service for an internet company posted this.
Get me through to a supervisor now! Record the out of this call and get me to a supervisor now! Do it!
Ma'am, there isn't any reason for me to... Ma'am.
Get me through to a supervisor, you little
Okay, ma'am. All right. Okay. Okay, give me.
Don't say another word to me. No.
I'm going to put you on hold, ma'am.
It sounds like the lead singer of Pantera is making a phone call to customer service. I'd like at the very beginning, Sam, can you just replay the very beginning where she goes, record the F out of this call.
Get me through to a supervisor now. Record the out of this call.
Because they always tell you to record this phone call is being recorded. Record the F out of this call.
Oh, wow.
That's something for sure.
Yeah, that is absolutely something.
It's totally different. Those are the kind of phone calls we want on this radio station.
Right.
I wish that lady would make it to the front of the line every time if we had a call like that, an angry caller.
Whatever happened to the Antifa chick that used to call this program? We used to have Indiana Antifa call this program and try to justify all of their nonsense.
But she liked listening to us, but she was Antifa. Yeah, I don't know. I think working customer service where you have the protection of you're just talking to somebody on the phone rather than a psycho customer at a fast food restaurant, much more enjoyable dealing with those people.
Which brings us to great moments in customer service call history.
Okay.
This was the iconic Texas man who was upset that Jimmy Dean, the sausage company, stopped making a specific type of his favorite product.
Your product's very delicious. Love your sausage for 30-something years, but I can't take and feed a family of 5 on a little 12-ounce roll of sausage. I don't mind paying you more money for your 16-ounce roll of sausage, but you don't have it anymore. You've got a 12-ounce roll, and you got 3 men that weigh over 200 pounds apiece, a woman that's a little plump, and a daughter who's 13, and you're going to try to take a 12-ounce roll of sausage and feed that? It ain't going to work. And as far as your 16-ounce in maple and sage, I don't eat that. I'm not from the north. I'm a Texas man, and I'm not going to buy 2 of those 12-ounce packages just because you want to downsize and charge the same goddamn price. Somebody needs their ass kicked.
Great moments in customer service call history.
I would love to see what this guy's definition of a little plump is.
A woman who's a little plump.
I would love to exactly see his definition. He sounded like Merlin Olsen from Little House on the Prairie or something like that.
Wow, boy, that's
Like
pulling it out of left field.
Jonathan Garvey. I need Jimmy Dean sausage, 200-pound man live in this house, wife a little bit plump. I don't know. It just reminded me of him for some reason.
When was the last time, and be honest, you ended a conversation with the phrase, somebody needs their ass kicked?
I don't think not recently.
Is this anything? A 45-year-old woman in Louisiana was a temporary cafeteria worker at a high school, but then she was accused of selling homemade baked goods laced with weed.
Oh.
And yes, it was apparently happening at the school.
Oh, yeah.
Is this anything?
Yes, this is something. This is crazy because she was caught. She sold it to at least one student, and it sounds like they knew what they were getting. So she was caught when another student found out. And then I was reading about this. He notified the authorities. Crime Stoppers have an app or something like that. And there aren't any. The thing that's weird, I couldn't find any details about the size and the scope of the operation this woman was running. But it's scary because with these cafeteria workers, they're hired by a staffing service. I don't know if that's the way it is in all school districts. This one in Louisiana was obviously that's the way it works, but she was hired by a staffing service. This places fill-in employees within schools. So I would think the staffing service might be a little hot water as well. So this is definitely something. And not the lunch ladies I had when I was a kid, for sure, in North Salem Elementary School.
Imagine getting a job at a school and your first instinct is, this is going to help my weed business.
That's what it was.
Unbelievable. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Every small business owner knows business happens everywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. Get started for just $40 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add mobile. And ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card.
Flight 291 is now boarding.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 100 megabits per second internet and Comcast Business Security Edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
Ooh la la. OMG. Wowza. What will they say when they open your Valentine's Day gift from Shane Company? Visit us today. We have beautiful jewelry crafted by our in-house design team. Unique looks you won't find anywhere else. Like our Toi et Moi necklace. That means you and me in French. This necklace features a natural white sapphire beside a colorful heart-shaped gemstone on a sterling silver chain. It's $175 and it's one of our favorites. Whether you want to spend a little or you want to splurge, at Shane Company we have so many eye-catching styles with hearts. Or surprise your loved one with a gift that features the romantic colors of Valentine's Day, like our jewelry with natural, vibrant pink sapphires, red rubies, or purple amethyst. For more ideas, browse our Valentine's Day gift guide at shaneco.com. Shipping is fast and free. When they open your gift, it'll be love at first sight.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
A B-Window $2,000 energy-saving credit plus federal tax credit and sale prices on windows, siding, and doors. No payments and no interest for 22 months.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
This storm headed our way. Cloudy, 33 degrees downtown. Your radar clear, though. Low drops to 29 tonight. A winter storm watch kicks in Wednesday morning. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. It snowed Sunday, and it's going to snow again. You're just going to see a little bit more this time.
Yeah, it looks like at this point, probably by the time we get to Tuesday night, it'll be late in the evening, but more likely once we get closer to midnight, that's when the snow will start.
And it will last until about Wednesday night before easing up, says Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He says most places in central and northern Indiana will get at least 4 inches of snow and possibly more. Solving a murder case and putting the right person behind bars is the goal. Donnie Burgess reports on what Indy's police chief needs from you.
Detectives need witnesses and community tips, says Chief Randall Taylor with IMPD.
They do a great job in their investigation of these crimes, but it's not one-sided. We do need the community's help.
Chief Taylor says some cases from last year were solved with that missing piece of info from an eyewitness. Nearly 150 murders from 2022 are unsolved. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An 11th person has died from Saturday's mass shooting in Southern California. The Los Angeles County Health Department says the victim was being treated for extensive injuries after the shooting in Monterey Park. Investigators say the 72-year-old shooter took his own life after he was tracked down Sunday. The White House doesn't like a Republican-backed bill that would restrict the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The House bill would require the Department of Energy to create a plan to increase oil and gas production on federal lands that offset any additional drawdowns.
House Republicans are now pursuing this extreme agenda that risks worsening supply shortages in times of crisis.
Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said the bill would impose unnecessary and unhelpful restrictions on the reserve. She said the president would veto it if it got to his desk. Your stock report, the Dow up 254 to 33,629. The NASDAQ up 223 to 11,364. And the S&P 500 also up today by 47 points to 4,019. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:34.
Hi.
I'm Ariel Winter. If you're anything like me, your pets are not only your best friends, they're part of your family. American Humane, which has been rescuing animals like Cleo here for more than 100 years, has life-saving tips that can make a big difference before, during, and after disasters such as hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, or wildfires. So when disaster strikes, you want to be prepared to protect them. Be sure to microchip or tag your pets. Never leave them behind in a major crisis, and be sure to have an emergency kit ready in your home at all times with a pet crate or carrier, leash, blanket, ID, and medications, their water bowl, and 7 to 10 days worth of food. To find out how to protect your entire family during a disaster and help our best friends in their worst times, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
With traffic at 435, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison Southside, eastbound 465, stop and go from 70 over to Harding Street. Also a crash on the east side, 10th at Sherman Drive. One on the south side, stop 11 Road at McFarland Road. Crash northbound 65 Johnson County, south of State Road 44. Jackknife semi blocking the left lane. Hopefully it'll be cleared by 5 because we do have about a 3-mile delay to boot. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Now get a $2,000 energy savings credit and federal tax credit at B Window. Plus sale prices on windows dining indoors with 22 months, no interest or payments. BWindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And a forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, low temperatures dropping back into the upper 20s. As we head into the day on Tuesday, mostly cloudy, high temperatures around 40 degrees. Our next winter storm arriving Tuesday night into Wednesday. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Hey now, I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here. A quick shout out to a couple places here, if we may. Our friends at Harry and Izzy's. So they brought up a big spread for Guy Relford.
Look at that.
Now, they brought sliders, they brought shrimp, they brought the sauces and everything. Because last week, Guy was talking about how if he were going to be executed, his death row meal would be Harry and Izzy's. So they brought him up a big spread.
But Guy's not here.
So
he was here.
We're going to treat this like an award show. You know how they say, we accept this award on behalf of somebody? We're going to eat this food on behalf of Guy Relford. So thank you to Harry and Izzy's. You guys are awesome. And also, on the south side, my friends at 5th Avenue Grill in Beech Grove, they hosted the bowling team this past week.
Oh, yeah.
Took care of the families, took care of the kids. They're doing it again this Friday. The Beech Grove bowling team going to the semi-state.
Nice.
So support local business, man. If you're on the south side, they got live music in that joint on the weekends. Go check out 5th Avenue Grill. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I think everybody's ready.
I'm ready.
Let's check in with a wheeling, dealing, hair sniffing, kiss stealing Joe Biden.
Woo. I got hairy legs.
Happy birthday, dear Alvin. Katanji Drown Jackson.
Katranji Drown Jackson.
Man. That's how everybody, if you're at a stranger's birthday party or you don't know their names, that's how you would sound. Happy birthday, dear Elvis.
So
we got more classified documents.
They found a buttload more classified documents at Casa de Biden up there in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, Nige. And I've lost track at how many classified documents that they have now. I think we're on round 6, but I'm not even sure anymore. It's embarrassing at this point. But this ABC poll, now I'm going to read this ABC poll to you. Try not to laugh, okay? It's clear that ABC is trying to carry the water for Joe Biden. Quote, strong majorities of Americans believe that both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump acted inappropriately when it came to the handling of classified documents. But In weighing their severity, the poll shows that the public believes Trump's actions were way more serious, according to an ABC News poll. How do the people know what's in the documents? They have no idea.
They have absolutely no idea. There have been reports that has some stuff in there about Ukraine when he was vice president of the United States, when Hunter Biden was operating over there, when Hunter Biden was getting paid millions of dollars, supposedly, for access and favor to his vice president, when Joe Biden was in charge of Ukraine foreign policy. It's almost like, and you're right, I've lost count. I don't know what, like it's almost his last words as vice president as he was leaving the White House for the last time was, screw it, just pack it all up. I'll go through it later.
Are you sure you don't want to go through it now, Mr. Vice President? No, just throw it in the back of the Corvette. We'll unpack it when we get there. We'll go through it all, I promise. 77%, according to this ABC poll, say that Trump acted inappropriately, while only 64% say that Biden acted inappropriately. Now, mind you, Trump's was at Mar-a-Lago in his office in like areas that had a safe. Joe Biden's was next to the WD-40 in his garage.
Next to the box full of used rags.
And the old case of Playboys that he had from the late 70s, early 80s. That's where the classified Ukraine material was at. And oh, by the way, Hunter Biden was around all of this stuff too. But ABC wants you to know that, well, it's Donald Trump, the one you got to keep an eye on.
I would love to see what's in those files. If there's anything about Ukraine and the connections to Hunter Biden's laptop in there, I think I better keep these classified documents at home, is what maybe he was thinking.
And then to allow Hunter, your moron, crack-smoking son, to be around it all. I mean, this idiot filled out paperwork that said he was there. Oh, yeah, he had a $50,000 rent charge, which coincidentally was also the same amount that was paid to a Chinese bank, but that's neither here nor there. Other Joe Biden news, his public approval rating at the lowest level of his presidency. This is from Reuters and an Ipsos poll from last week. 40% of Americans approved of his performance, which is fancy talk for 60% think he stinks.
And that's right now? I mean, you could imagine it couldn't get any lower after the Afghanistan debacle.
So you look at these poll numbers here. Do you think he still considers himself the front runner for 2024?
Probably not. I wouldn't think so, especially now with the press has turned on him quite a bit with these classified documents. You have his chief of staff, Ron Klain, possibly leaving his position, which is kind of curious, very odd. I don't think so. I really don't. I think that Democrats don't run him to run. I have no idea who they're going to put in his place.
They can't win with Kamala.
They can't.
You wouldn't think. I didn't think they could win with Joe Biden, but here we are. But maybe Ron Klain's jumping ship to work with Kamala. I don't know. But Biden is underwater right now. And when reached for comment about his low approval numbers, here's what Joe Biden had to say.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
You got me on that one. I thought a real clip was coming.
Well, that is a real clip.
I know it's a real clip, but within the context of what you were actually talking about, I thought, oh, boy, I should have known better.
So you mentioned it earlier. New York Times broke the story that Ron Klain, shortly after the State of the Union address, expected to leave his role as chief of staff.
Very curious. I mean, right in the middle of the scandal, and as his boss is deciding whether or not to run for president in 2024. I find it the timing is very curious. Hasn't been a lot of turnover in Biden's office. Kamala Harris, it's been a revolving door. She's been a disaster. People hate working for her. But we don't know for sure. I'm curious to see how this got leaked out, because we don't know for sure what's going on.
Klain leaked it out. He wanted everybody to know, I am leaving on my own. Yeah. I don't want any part of what may or may not be coming down from the Department of Justice in regards to these classified files. Now, it's also being reported by the New York Times that Jeff Zients, He is the top COVID advisor to Joe Biden. He was most likely the one to take over that chief of staff spot. Now, if this name sounds familiar to you, he was the guy that said if you didn't get your COVID shot, you were headed for the winter of death.
We are intent on not letting Omicron disrupt work and school for the vaccinated. We've done the right thing, and we will get through this. For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death. For yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the guy that was responsible with, along with Walensky and others from the CDC, for awful COVID policies that led, lockdown, school closures, stuff like that.
Right. And how do all of these types of people that have been wrong repeatedly and fearmongers over and over again, how do these people keep getting promotions? Ron Klain was a moron. He became the chief of staff. This guy, prepare yourself for the winter of death. Put that on a Christmas card. I'm sending that out. I'm sure. Merry Christmas from the Bidens. P.S. Prepare for the winter of death. You're going to make this guy the chief of staff? Yeah, that's really going to help you with the approval numbers. I can imagine the first press conference. Excuse me, aren't you the guy that said prepare for the winter of death?
Yep, that's me.
Okay, just making sure. According to Joe Manchin, in an interview that he did with Chuck Todd on Meet the Press, it sounds like he's kind of kicking the tires on a presidential run.
Is re-election on the table?
Everything's on the table.
Is running for governor on the table or no?
No, I've done that.
That you've ruled out?
I've done that, yeah.
So everything on the table, there's basically only one other thing, the presidency. Is that something you would do outside the Democratic Party?
The only thing I can tell you is what I will do is whatever I can when I make my decision, what I think is the best that I can support and represent the people of West Virginia, but also be true to this country and the Constitution of this country.
That sounds like somebody that's looking for a way into national politics.
Well, every senator's on a national.
I understand that, but you know where I'm going.
I know where you're going, and the bottom line is
you're not telling me no.
I'm telling you that I'm going to do everything I can to make sure
that
when I make my decision, I make it based on what's best, what I think I can do to support and best for my country and my state.
He's just not left enough for all the crazy radical progressives in that party. Joe Manchin.
Some would say he's not left at all.
Right. I mean, what are you? He's pro-gun, pro-fuel, pro-coal, pro-oil and drilling. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be huge with independents. I think, between him and Donald Trump, who would win an election between Donald Trump and Joe Manchin?
Donald Trump going away.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump would win going away, yes. I'm curious, though, if Manchin sees himself as a Democrat or as an independent. Are we talking about a third-party run here, or are you trying to primary Joe Biden? Because I don't know if you can primary Joe Biden just because of the machine support system.
It is a machine.
That's behind the Weekend at Bernie's body. That is Joe Biden at this point. So he's going to almost have to do it as an independent, which would mean he'd have to officially leave the Democratic Party, pull a cinema, and say, screw you guys, I'm out. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Hammer and Nigel Show back this afternoon. Biggest stories in Indy, and it's Monday Gun Day with Guy Relford, 93 WIBC.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and the past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Love. It makes us do crazy things, like being the first one to say, I love you, or adopting a cat together when you're more of a dog person. Celebrate the madness of love with the perfect Valentine's gift from Helzberg Diamonds. Right now, half-carat diamond heart pendants in your choice of white, yellow, or rose gold are just $399.99, a savings of $500. Show her you're smitten with the gift of gorgeous jewelry at our best prices of the season. Hurry, Valentine's Day is Tuesday, February 14th. Shop at Helzberg.com or visit a store near you.
Hey, honey, take your blood pressure medication.
Thanks, dear.
Daddy?
Yeah, Mikey.
Are you going to the hospital again for a heart attack?
No, son. Bad medication from a fake online pharmacy sent me to the hospital. My pills didn't have enough of the right medicine for my blood pressure. We learned the hard way that it's important to buy medication only from sites that have either been approved by NABP or that end in .pharmacy, so we know they're safe. Okay?
Okay, Daddy.
Many rogue online pharmacies sell medications with too much, too little, or the wrong medicine, and counterfeiters may even use harmful fillers to make cheap pills. The National Association of Boards of Pharmacy urges everyone to make sure their online pharmacy is legitimate and to watch in coming months for more websites with a .pharmacy URL. These have been vetted as safe and legal. Learn more at safe.pharmacy, a public service from the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy.
Again, thank you to Harry and Izzy's. Nigel and I are going to eat this food on behalf of Guy Relford. Guy, thank you so much. And we're not going to save you any, but we appreciate it. Matt Bear, you got to come in here and get some food.
All right, got you, Aver. Looking at the south side, eastbound 465. Stop and go Kentucky Avenue over to Harding Street. Crash south of Franklin, northbound 65, south of 44. And it's a jackknife semi. Hopefully it'll be cleared in a few minutes. We'll see. Left lane is blocked. Crash south side, south Keystone, south of Troy. And one stop 11 at McFarland. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now it's 33 at the American Standard Heating and Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Man, Hammer, did you see that memorial over the weekend for that pro-Trump vlogger Diamond and Silk? You ever heard of Diamond and Silk?
Yeah.
A couple of sisters that were very popular. So Diamond died of, I believe, cardiac arrest. Had a heart attack. And Diamond's memorial was Saturday night in North Carolina. This is her sister Silk, kind of suggesting that her death may have had something to do with the COVID vaccine.
Instead of asking if Americans are vaxxed or unvaxxed, the real question to ask is, are Americans being poisoned? In the wild, when they want to depopulate and sterilize a large group of animals, they usually inject one animal. And then that one animal infect the rest of the animals. So technically, and according to the science, it doesn't matter if you're vaxxed or not. As long as the gain of function allows one injected person to transfer and infect another person, and that person infect another person, eventually everyone will be affected in one way or the other.
What do you think, Hammer?
Seems a little out there for a memorial service. Like, instead of talking about the amazing memories with your sister, the family times together, that was the time that you chose to use right there. It seems a little bizarre. There's more, though. This is, again, the sister. This is Silk talking about Diamond.
People are dropping dead around here. and nobody's talking about it. They're dropping dead suddenly and unexpectedly. The catchphrase is SAD, S-A-D, sudden adult death syndrome. Many call it a conspiracy theory. I call it murder.
That's pretty strong. And I get she's probably angry. There's a lot of emotions going through, and you never want to judge somebody at a memorial service because you don't know the emotional roller coaster that they're on. But it was it was out there a little bit.
Is that appropriate for a memorial service? I mean, it's pretty much par for the course for, you know, how outspoken and opinionated those girls were.
Right.
That's what they did for a living.
Now, there was a bizarre part to this. So Silk was talking about how they loved Donald Trump and they spent time with Donald Trump and they considered Donald Trump a friend. Well, Donald Trump was there and he spoke and basically said, yeah, I had no idea who Silk was.
I'm serious. I thought I knew them both. I didn't. I knew Diamond, but I didn't know Silk at all. I just learned about Silk. You're fantastic. You're going to carry on beyond anybody's wildest imagination.
So, I mean, she's up there pouring her heart and soul out. We love Donald Trump. We've had conversations. He goes up there. I know one of them. I didn't know the other one.
And by the way, it's got to be awkward for Donald Trump going up there, especially following, you know, he's the guy that came up with Operation Warp Speed and pushed the vaccines. And she's up there saying, well, vaccines might be making people drop dead. That's got to be awkward for Trump as well.
Coming up here in just a moment, again, keeping our eye on the weather system. It's going to be an interesting 48 hours here in Indy, plus new numbers from the border. Don't go anywhere. It's Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. Have you been putting up with water issues at your home? How about taking advantage of $100 off a water tune-up from C&J Water? Well water or city water, you need to stay on top of your water quality, and C&J can do a performance check on your softener and filter, a water analysis, a sediment filter change, a resin refresh, and a couple of bags of salt. Preventive maintenance on your water system works. C&J, they're local, they're exceptional, they're affordable. 317-733-SOFT or cnjwater.com.
Only one real estate agent I'd trust to sell my house. You know him. We talk about him all the time. Mark Dietl is the best. Mike and Loretta in Morrisville heard about Mark Dietl. Their kids are grown. They moved out, and they wanted to downsize and move closer to the grandkids. They were worried about the timing and if it was bad, but with Mark Dietl, it was easy. With relentless marketing, they had a buyer in just a few weeks at the price Mike and Loretta needed.
You deserve the best, and the best in the business is Mark Dietl. Why? Because he offers you the guarantee. Mark Dietl guarantees an offer in 3 days at full market value, or he will list it for free. That is the Mark Dietl guarantee. Call him right now, 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, Dietel, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
The new year is here. Time for a change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand IT field with My Computer Career in just months. Already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Alex Brown. Columbus-based Cummins today opened the powertrain maker's first technical education for communities location in Indiana. VP of Community Relations and Corporate Responsibility Mary Chandler said the global program targets technical skills gaps through local vocational educational training.
We were seeing high unemployment rate for young people, and at the same time, employers had open positions for good paying jobs that required technical skill sets.
Cummins established the program at Arsenal Technical High School in Indianapolis. The program will focus on providing training for future diesel engine service technicians. Ivy Tech Community College today announced Amanda Harson as the next chancellor of its campus in Madison. Harson, who previously served as Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs, has held the role on an interim basis since August. One of the first White Castles to be built in the greater Chicago area is set to be demolished. Our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana report the 88-year-old restaurant in downtown Whiting is being torn down in favor of an updated, modern version of the fast food outlet. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
At Indiana University, your health is our higher purpose. You are the reason we break ground in medicine, the reason we develop life-changing research. You're the reason we fight diabetes, cancer, and Alzheimer's. Our mission is to create a better quality of life for you and people throughout our state. And as the leader of health in Indiana, when we have the will, we find the way. Learn more at iu.edu/healthimpact.
Exhibit Columbus will next month showcase design concepts for its 2022-23 exhibition. The 2023 Design Presentations event will feature previews of 13 site-specific installations planned for the 4th Exhibit Columbus exhibition, set to open in late summer. The design concepts will be tied to this year's theme, Public by Design, which was unveiled last September. The design presentations will take place February 25th at the Commons in downtown Columbus. Sports media personality Dan Dockich returns for this week's Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. I'm Alex Brown for 93 WIBC.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
Des Moines, Iowa. 2 students killed and a teacher wounded at what's described as an educational program affiliated with the school district. Police say officers stopped a car about 2 miles away from the school, taking multiple suspects into custody. No other details yet. The White House again referring questions to lawyers after another round of classified documents found at the president's home in Wilmington, Delaware. This time dating back to when he was a U.S. Senator and revealed over the weekend after the search.
We know agents searched for almost 13 hours while the president stayed at the White House on Friday and continued with business as usual, meeting with the nation's mayors. According to the president's personal attorney, Bob Bauer, this was a voluntary search, meaning no warrant, and the FBI was invited to come in. Biden's attorneys were there too, watching it all unfold.
Fox's David Spunt in Washington. Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre repeating that the president takes the issue seriously, but also saying it's up to the American people to decide how they see this president. His family calls it murder, the police beating of a black man who died several days after a confrontation with Memphis police during a traffic stop.
It was an unadulterated, unabashed, nonstop beating of this young boy for 3 minutes.
Attorneys for the family, including Antonio Romanucci, want the video footage made public. 5 officers have been fired. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What to know about the snow? Cloudy 33 in downtown Indy. Nothing on your radar with a low of 29 degrees tonight. Winter Storm Watch starts at 1 a.m. Wednesday. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. You're going to be dealing with some snow this week.
It's enough to affect travel. I'm John Herrick.
Keep in mind that you may need to think about changing your travel plans a little bit and just making some adjustments on your travel plans to accommodate the difficult travel conditions that could occur due to the snowfall.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says anywhere between 4 inches and a foot of snow could fall from Tuesday night through Wednesday night, but more on that should be known for each area as the storm gets closer. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may have heard about the 11 people killed in a mass shooting at a dance club in Monterey Park, California. Indy Police Chief Randall Taylor says his heart goes out to those families and the Asian American community in Indianapolis.
I've spoken to members of the Asian American community here in Indianapolis to assure them that we stand with them and offer any assistance we might be able to offer to get them through this difficult time.
The suspect killed himself while hiding inside of a van. The area where the shooting happened is said to be heavily populated with members of the Asian American community. There was a fatal crash that killed 2 people on Indy's south side last night, says IMPD. The wreck happened at the intersection of Meridian Street and Southport Road when an Acura ran a red light and hit the driver's side of another car.
Slow down, take your time, allow extra time to get to wherever you're going.
IMPD Captain Don Weilhammer, police believe alcohol might have been a factor in the wreck. The crash is still under investigation. The jury who will decide the fate of Richard Allen, the Delphi suspect, will come from either St. Joseph or Allen County. Prosecutors and the defense for Allen were told by Judge Francis Gall to choose a county by last Friday. That was not made public until today. A bail hearing for Allen has been scheduled for February 17th. The average price for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.36 per gallon of regular, says Gas Buddy. That's down 4 cents from where the average was a week ago. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Does runaway inflation and reckless spending in Washington have you worried about the security of your hard-earned retirement savings? If so, it's time to call the precious metals experts at Fisher Capital. Fisher Capital specializes in helping investors like you diversify their retirement portfolio and preserve wealth with physical gold and silver. Whether you're looking to acquire coins or bars, open a gold IRA, or just want to learn more about the advantages of owning precious metals, Fisher Capital will equip you with the knowledge to make an informed decision that's right for you and your family. Call Fisher Capital today at 800-376-4333. That's 800-376-4333. Mention WIBC when you call to get a free no-obligation investor kit. 800-376-4333. 800-376-4333. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Don't lose another night's sleep worrying about the security of your retirement savings. Call Fisher Capital. 800-376-4333.
With traffic at the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison Southside, eastbound 465, barely moving from I-70 over to Harding Street. Also a crash on the south side, South Keystone Avenue. South of Troy Avenue, that's at Murray Street. One stop, 11 at McFarland Road. Then we have a crash on the east side, 10th at Sherman Drive. Inbound 69 slows just a touch after 96. Traffic sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest tax refund, plus a chance to double your refund with the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal return. It's 4223. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, low temperatures dropping back into the upper 20s. As we head into the day on Tuesday, mostly cloudy, high temperatures around 40 degrees. Our next winter storm arriving Tuesday night into Wednesday. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Hammer, when they say that, I heard Harrison talking about it at the top of the hour. I think it's 1 a.m. Wednesday, the winter storm watch in Central Indy kicks in. We do have some serious weather coming in town late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. It's going to start Tuesday night in southern Indiana, make its way north. And then I guess, as Marcus Bailey was describing it, it's going to be two waves. The one late Tuesday night, southern Indiana, the second wave late into Wednesday morning. Heavy snow, 4 to 8 inches is what Marcus Bailey told us last hour. And, of course, you got to keep it locked here, 93 WIBC, as we will be giving you updates all day long. Wednesday morning commute is looking like it might be hell.
And I know Tony Katz and Matt Bear, they will have you covered with everything that you need to know. Give yourself extra time. You've got time right now to plan for Wednesday morning. You do. I'm anticipating, now we haven't heard anything finalized yet, but there probably are going to be school delays, possibly a few cancellations, maybe going to work, you may have a little bit of a delay, but still, give yourself extra time on Wednesday morning because that morning drive is shaping up to be nasty.
Look at that headline on our news gathering partners right there. They got going.
That's not good. Carmel prosecutor arrested for paying for sex.
Got news for you, pal. We all pay for it one way or the other.
One way or the other. Welcome to the party, pal. Wow, so that's frowned upon apparently in Carmel. That's
yes, it's frowned upon.
That's not good. But going back to the forecast here, again, I said this earlier. Yeah. What I'm looking forward to is the coverage. Because you know me, I'm a weather nerd. I love to watch severe weather coverage. I want to see who Wish TV puts outside in the elements, in the freezing cold, in the snow, by the highway, telling you don't go out in the freezing cold or on the highway.
It's going to be Phil Sanchez. Phil, we know you got this cush gig. You're an anchor. You're one of the main. You're the face of Wish TV. But get the hell outside and broadcast from the sidewalk.
Remember when we had our podcast before the show came to the radio? We had a very distinguished news anchor who still works here in Indianapolis tell us a story of how there was, I guess, some people that had called into work, so they were short-staffed, but an established high-profile news anchor had to go cover a murder in a portolet.
Yes, I remember that.
It's not where you want to be.
I remember that story, but I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, but great moments in weather coverage history.
Yeah,
Jim Cantori of the Weather Channel. He's the guy that puts on the batting helmet during hurricanes and does all kinds of crazy stuff. There was a storm in Chicago that had thunder snow. And thunder snow is a very rare phenomenon where it's like a thunderstorm and there's lightning and there's thunder, but snow is falling from the sky. Jim Cantori was pretty excited about it.
Oh! Listen to that! Son of a...
Oh, yes! 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 We got it, baby! We got it! We got it! Woo! Woo! We got it! Yes! Listen to that! Listen to that! Oh, baby! Oh, again! Again! That's a twofer! That's a twofer, baby! Yes! 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 Again! That's a three! You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me! Barak! Oh my God! Winds have really picked up in through here. And there's another one! That's number... You gotta be kidding me! Wow! You can have your $500 million jackpot in Powerball or whatever the heck it was, but I'll take this, baby. Four lightning strikes, 4 episodes of Thunder Snow.
Jim Cantori.
Did he drop a son of a bee in there at the first clip live on TV on the Weather Channel?
The first one startled him, I believe.
That was an amazing montage. I'd never heard that before.
That sounds like me the year that the Cubs were running through the World Series.
Yes! Yes! Do you believe it? I can't believe it! Son of a beep!
Oh, man, I wasn't that excited when I found out I was having kids. This guy's having the big O over thunder snow.
Thunder! So I'm looking forward to some coverage the next couple of days. We got some numbers from the border, Big Nige. Border Patrol in Del Rio reports that agents have arrested 10 sex offenders so far this month.
Wonderful. Those are the ones we know about.
And 38 since October 1st. And a majority of these are men who are pedophiles who have been convicted of sex crimes against children.
Oh, but I'm sure they're claiming asylum, right?
The terror watch list arrests under President Joe Biden so far this year, fiscal year 23, 38 terrorists, people on a watch, arrested at the border. To put in perspective, there were only 98 in the fiscal year of 22. We already have 38.
Wow.
Fiscal year of 21, there was 15. 20, there was 3. There weren't any in 19. And now we have 38 that we know of. And that's important because according to the CBP, there have been approximately 1.2 million known gotaways. And we don't know about the unknowns.
Yeah, those are the gotaways, or the unknowns.
1.2 million known gotaways.
Yeah, so 38 so far in January of this month. And those are the only the ones we know about. And the gotaways are the ones that concern me. That's got to send a chill down everybody's spine. The gotaways, that we don't have any idea who they are, where they're at. We just know that they got through.
And we've got sex offenders and folks on the terror watch list coming in like they've never came in before. In Atlanta over the weekend, things turned, quote, mostly peaceful pretty damn quick, and some windows were broken, cars were set on fire, people were being shot at, they had some riots. This is the Atlanta mayor, Andre Dickens.
Many of them don't even live in Atlanta or in the state of Georgia, and they don't represent the voices of Atlanta. And some of them were found with explosives on them. You heard that correctly, explosives, and that has led to a police officer's car being set on fire, and other destruction has occurred. And so, make no mistake about it, these individuals meant harm to people and to property.
You heard that, right? From a Democrat mayor, from a black mayor in Atlanta, These people meant harm. They wanted to destroy property. They wanted to harm people. Then explain to me why CNN continues to try to carry the water for these groups of rioters, these organized rioters, and by the way, the majority of them were not from Atlanta, by continually saying, well, it really wasn't violent. Take a listen to this local reporter that went on CNN.
You know, you keep using these words, violent, and it gives the impression, I mean, the only violence or the only acts of violence against people that I saw were actually police tackling protesters.
So you kidding me here? Are you kidding me? Like, how is that not violent? Windows were broken. Cars were set on fire.
Mostly peaceful protests only caused $4 billion worth of damage.
Somebody got killed.
Yeah.
That shot at a police officer who had to get plastic surgery to recover. You were found with explosives. Mostly peaceful, my ass. Matt Bear.
Looking at the east side, southbound 465 slows from 72 Washington Street. Also a crash south of Franklin. Northbound 65, a few miles south of State Road 44, jackknife semi blocking the left lane. Crash stop 11 at McFarland. Another South Keystone Avenue south of Troy. That's at Murray. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Help your business thrive and stay connected with the Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
33 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Every small business owner knows business happens everywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. Get started for just $40 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add mobile. And ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card.
Flight 291 is now boarding.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 100 megabits per second internet and Comcast Business Security Edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, I'm Ariel Winter. If you're anything like me, your pets are not only your best friends, they're part of your family. American Humane, which has been rescuing animals like Cleo here for more than 100 years, has life-saving tips that can make a big difference in a disaster. When disaster strikes, you want to protect your whole family, including your pets. To help keep your family safe and help our best friends in their worst times, find tips at AmericanHumane.org.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom. We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good,
others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty. Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Hi, I'm Sherry Shepherd. You probably know me best as a co-host on The View. More importantly, I'm a mom. I talk to a lot of moms, and I'll tell you what, we all want the best for our babies. But each year, more than 500,000 babies are born prematurely, and this can lead to serious health problems. The good news is that now if you're pregnant or a new mom, you can get easy access to information to keep your baby healthy. It's through a free service called Text for Baby. Pregnant women and new moms get timely, expert health tips sent directly to their cell phones. The tips will help you care for your new child in each important phase of early development. Get Text for Baby. Free messages on your cell phone to help you through your pregnancy and your baby's first year. Just text BABY, B-A-B-Y, to 511-411. That's BABY, B-A-B-Y, to 511-411 for the health of your baby.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
It's a Hammer and Nigel show. Here in just a few minutes, very special guest, Sergeant John Perrine from the Indiana State Police, going to be talking about recruitment and also how to navigate these roads the next couple of days when the bad winter weather comes in. There's going to be some idiots out there driving. Ask him how to avoid that.
If I were John Perrine, I would kind of take on this like wrestling persona and call myself the Fine John Perrine.
He'll be with us after the news a little bit bottom of the hour. And speaking of bad drivers, people online are talking about their biggest driving pet peeves. And several have mentioned a word that I have not heard of before. Nice holes. So these are people that think they're being nice, but it's actually dangerous out on the road.
And they're called what again?
Nice holes.
Okay.
For example, one person said, nice people who stop in the middle of a roundabout to let cars enter. No, you don't stop in the middle of the roundabout to let cars enter.
So that's an example of being a nice hole. Good intentions, but it creates problems for everybody else.
This one I have this one's pretty bad too. Randomly stopping in the middle of the road to let someone in oncoming traffic turn left in front of them.
Okay, that makes you a nice hole. So if I'm going on Rockville Road, right, and I'm heading up toward a fast food or restaurant place, and somebody wants to turn into the place in front of me, I'm not supposed to let them do that?
I don't think so. I think they're supposed to. I think you're supposed to get to the other side of the road and then go in that way.
No, I disagree with that. Like, if you want to let one person across, that's okay, but no more than one. Like, I'm not letting you and the 18 cars behind you go, but I'll let one person go.
These are people that drive their cars are called nice holes. They think they're being nice, but it's actually dangerous. Waving people through a four-way stop when it's your turn to go. That's annoying if you're behind them.
Well, the only time you would wave is if you don't know whose turn it is.
Yeah, if you get there at the same time.
Right.
Maybe flash your brights at them or something.
Was this list on Reddit? Because there's a lot of stupid people on Reddit.
Here are some other driving pet peeves people mentioned in this post. Holding everyone up by trying to make a left turn at a time when it's borderline impossible.
What if you have to go left? Again, I get it. Nobody likes to have to make that turn, but sometimes you have to.
When I'm trying, sometimes on the west side, when I'm headed to the boathouse, and I'm headed west on 56th Street. It's before you get to 465, before you get to the Colts Complex. I could either hold up traffic behind me and turn left into the boathouse, crossing 2 lanes,
right?
Even though I don't think you're supposed to when it's double yellow. Or I could go to the light, then turn left, and then turn left again on the side road.
So you're basically just making a big,
that's
turn.
Yes.
Man, turn left.
People who jump out from a side street or parking lot, cutting you off, and then they drive slower than you're doing.
Now that is a problem. And I don't even know where we get the nice hole from this. That's just a problem.
We've moved on from nice holes. These are just a-holes.
Right. If you're going to cut in front of me, you better go. Because if not, I'm going to pull up next to you to make sure you look as stupid as you drive.
People pulling out right in front of you when there's a large gap of no traffic right behind me.
Right. I've seen that.
That really annoys me. People in the left lane in an intersection that inch up when you're in the right lane due to apparently not realizing that you're trying to see around them to make the legal right turn.
Okay.
Not accelerating on the up on-ramp. People driving the same speed side by side on the highway. And
that's the worst, especially if it's a 2-lane road.
So, it's like you're basically essentially creating a roadblock. No one can pass, and that includes the trucks.
Right.
We got in trouble for doing that at Radio Now when we were here. I think our new morning show, it was The Morning Mess with Marco and Billy, and they got all the Radio Now vehicles out on 465, and we're all going 55 miles an hour in all 3 lanes, and it was causing such a backup, like traffic. Like I think Somalian got involved and had to call down there and say, have them stop doing that right now. It was like a big promotion. But
somebody's trying to get to work. Somebody's trying to get to the hospital, but the wacky morning zoo guys want to do 55.
Driving with your high beams on in traffic, that's always annoying, especially when you're on a 2-lane road and they're coming at you and you don't notice.
Right. There's a lot of cars now that the newer ones, the lights, they change automatically.
Well, on some of the other new ones, I say you can't tell whether they're brights or not. They're so bright. And then I flash them, and then they end up flashing me back with their really high beams and blinding me.
On the list, do you have on the list guy that slams on the horn the very moment that the light changes? Like it's like he's ready to drag race, like he's at Raceway Park.
So he's behind you,
right?
And you don't notice right away,
right? And I've literally got my foot on the gas. I'm getting ready to go, and he slams it on because I teach my oldest who drives. Pretend like everybody around you is a moron and they're going to run the light.
Yeah.
As soon as it changes, man, make sure everybody's cool before you go. And you got, Billy Badass back here honking the horn.
I don't use the horn anymore because you never know who's in that other vehicle. You never know it's some crazy bastard that's going to roll down the window and start blasting.
So does it make you a crazy bastard if you use the horn? Because I'm a big horn guy.
You are a horn guy. People on their phones.
That's it, man. That's the new drunk driving.
It is. People who refuse to let another driver in during an obvious, merge.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not, look, I'm trying to do my best. I go through it every night on Illinois Street trying to get down to 65, pulling out of the parking lot. Nobody lets me through. Nobody lets me in. I just have to swerve.
Being a courteous driver is a part of having a car and a license. Now, I hate it when you let one person in, but the car behind it thinks, oh, I'm with him.
Yes.
No. I will bump draft your ass. I will knock you into the wall. I'm letting one car in.
What if you pull up to a stoplight and there's a side road, and do you stop and let the guy in at the stoplight? So in other words, like if you pulled up to the stoplight and you're like the third or fourth car do you block the side road so other people can't get out, or do you leave a space?
I try to leave a space.
I try to leave a space.
Yes.
Yeah, whenever I can, I try to do that, because otherwise you do look like an a-hole just sitting there. Real quick, before we get Sergeant John Perrine on the air, have you seen the size of the world's largest toad? I tweeted this out already.
Is that what you put on Twitter earlier?
That thing, they found it in Australia. It's a 6-pound toad.
It's a big mamma jamma.
It takes 2 hands. Go to @Hammer and Nigel. Scroll down a little bit and check this thing out. And we decided to make a quick tribute from Hammer and Nigel Records. We were in a blue oyster cult kind of mood.
They found a toad that weighs almost 6 pounds, and they don't put him anywhere near their town.
Toadzilla. Wildlife officials believe it could be the largest toad on record.
Oh no! They say he's got to go. Go, go, Toadzilla!
There it is from Hammer and Nigel Records. Sergeant John Perrine, the fine Sergeant John Perrine. He should totally use that moniker.
Yes.
And we'll have him on next, right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When it's going to start piling up. Cloudy 32 degrees in downtown Indy. All clear on your radar. Low tonight supposed to drop just below 30. A winter storm watch goes into effect at 1 a.m. Wednesday. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. The snow is going to start accumulating Tuesday.
It'll pick up in intensity overnight Tuesday night, and then once we get into Wednesday, it should peak during the morning hours and then start to decrease by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon. It should start to move out of the area by then.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says most places could see anywhere between 4 and 8 inches or possibly more, so you need to be ready for it to affect your commute over the next few days. 11 people were killed in a mass shooting at a dance club in Monterey Park, California. Indy Police Chief Randall Taylor says his heart goes out to those families and the Asian American community here in Indy.
I've spoken to the members of the Asian American community here in Indianapolis to assure them that we stand with them and offer any assistance we might be able to offer to get them through this difficult time.
The suspect killed himself while hiding out inside of a van. California's Governor Gavin Newsom said the mass shooting was sickening.
These just weapons of pure mass destruction. And the fact that that is not being addressed in this country is comical. It's disgraceful. It's offensive.
President Biden has already vowed to support the community, however the federal government can. 2 students are now dead after a shooting at a nonprofit mentorship program in Des Moines, Iowa. A teacher was also hurt at the Starts Right Here mentorship program. Police say multiple suspects were detained during a traffic stop 20 minutes after the shooting. President Biden says he will continue delivering for the American people as the Department of Justice continues to investigate his handling of classified documents from his time as vice president and senator were found in his Delaware home. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters the president is taking the matter seriously and is complying with the investigation. A new report from Forbes Health says Indiana is the 12th ranked least healthy state in the U.S. The report looked at 21 key metrics from the CDC and Kaiser Family Foundations to come up with those rankings. Forbes says more than 10% of Hoosiers have diabetes. There's also a high rate of cancer in the state. With traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Bear.
Southside, eastbound 465, stop and go from Kentucky Avenue over to Harding Street. And on the northeast side, eastbound 465, stop and go Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. We're hitting on the east side, crash 10th at Sherman Drive, and another one southside, South Keystone Avenue, south of Troy. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, low temperatures dropping back into the upper 20s. As we head into the day on Tuesday, mostly cloudy, high temperatures around 40 degrees. Our next winter storm arriving Tuesday night into Wednesday. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. It is the Hammer and Nigel show. We'll go straight to the drivehubler.com hotline. Bring on one of our favorite guests, Sergeant John Perrine, Indiana State Police Public Information Officer. John, I saw you on TV this morning with our news gathering partners there at the police aviation hangar, talking about hiring new troopers. Looking good, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Do you fly in that helicopter? Have you been in that thing that Cody Adams was checking out this morning?
You know, I've been in it, but I'm not an everyday flyer. I've been in it maybe twice, and so don't get a lot of opportunities to go up in that thing.
That thing looked cool, man. So tell us initially, exactly what the Indiana State Police is doing in this push to hire some new troopers.
Well, we're just looking for good people, good, honest, hardworking people that are motivated, that want to do the job, want to serve their community, and we know they're out there, and we're just letting them know. Not only are we hiring, but we want them to see some of the things that we do within our agency outside of just patrolling the roads and the highways.
Well, that is one of the. Is that a misconception that all you guys do? The Indiana State Troopers, as opposed to like IMPD or something like that, is patrol the highways. And that's a misconception, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big misconception. We're not a highway patrol, although it is an important part of our job.
Sure.
And, I get frustrated at the conversation when people say, well, all you do is write tickets or this. I don't enjoy writing tickets. It's not what I wake up saying that's what I want to do. But what I enjoy even less is standing on somebody's doorstep telling them their loved one's not coming home because of a crash. So that's why we write tickets. So it's safer for your family and for my family. So, but the Indiana State Police is a full-service police agency. So we cover all 92 counties. We have people in those counties. And within our agency, we've got all types of investigations. Every criminal detectives, we have cyber crimes detectives, we have child crimes detectives, white-collar crimes detectives, crime scene investigators. So all these things that you see, that people see on TV, we have that, and we want them to join ISP so they can have the opportunity to experience those things.
So you mentioned all the different things that go into the Indiana State Police. Let's say somebody's listening right now that says, you know what, I really want to help law enforcement, but at the same time, I don't want to be in a position to be shot at. Is there a place for someone like that?
Well, we certainly do have a lot of what we call professional staff opportunities. And, our crime lab is staffed with non-police officers, people who have gone to college for other degrees and other backgrounds. And so, we have a lot of opportunities that don't include going through the police academy, driving a police car, and carrying a gun belt and things like that.
Sergeant John Perrine, Indiana State Police PIO, joining us on the Hammer and Nigel show, talking about hiring new troopers and recruiting. So tell me how it's going for you guys so far. I know we spoke with the president of the FOP, Rick Snyder, last week. IMPD recruiting is down. How is it going? Are things in a more positive direction, you think, in 2023? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I certainly hope so, and it's not unique to Indiana or us or IMPD. It's a nationwide problem that the days of getting a couple thousand applications for these positions are limited, and we don't see that anymore. And so we have incredible police agencies in the state of Indiana, all across the state, and we're all competing for the same people. It seems like we're fishing from the same pond, and that pond just keeps getting smaller. So what can we do from ISP to go out and target those individuals who want a law enforcement career? And that is, let's advertise what we do beyond our patrol efforts and the things that we have available to us. One badge, endless opportunities is kind of our motto through this recruiting pitch. And we just want folks to know that we're out in the communities, helping these communities and doing lots of really cool things.
John, is it a fair assessment to say that it's kind of like what college sports has become right now with the recruiting that's going on? You're competing against other states to try to bring in people to your organization, and you have to offer better things. In college sports, it's scholarships, it's NIL money, it's what can we do for your education. Is it like that with law enforcement right now?
I think that's a fair assessment, and we're certainly trying to do things differently. This last class that went through for the first time that I can think of in history got a signing bonus, a $5,000 signing bonus for making it through the academy and through training. And so, I think it really is competitive. And although I don't know that money is 100% the answer, We're certainly thankful that Governor Holcomb has announced a proposal to increase our starting pay from $53,000 up to $70,000. And if that proposal goes through, that puts us in the ballpark of these other agencies to be able to recruit these people, these folks that want to be police officers.
What if somebody's listening right now, they have a dream of being a law enforcement officer to protect and serve, but they look at themselves in the mirror and they're not exactly in the best of shape, and they don't know if physically they could perform the job, but they have, they have a passion for what you do. Would you still go ahead and recommend them going through the academy or going through an application process at some point?
Yeah, without question. Start today. The things that should never catch you off guard for our hiring process are the physical tests, the push-ups, the sit-ups, the runs, and things like that. So start today. I won't use his name, but 12 years ago, I trained a brand new trooper in field training. That's after you get out of the academy. They spend a couple months riding with other troopers. And this young man had lost over 100 pounds to join the state police because that's what he wanted to do. He worked his tail off, lost that 100 pounds, made it through the academy, and he's a fantastic trooper today.
What kind of things happen at the academy? What process is that like? How long does that take? And like you said, apparently after your training at the academy is over, they ride along with a veteran for a while and train.
So the actual academy, you get paid from day one of the academy, so you start making your salary in the academy. But it's 5 days a week. You stay there overnight. It's very disciplined. It's very structured. A lot of classroom work. You're going through all the criminal law stuff, all the civil law things, just a lot of different classroom. And then about halfway through the 24 weeks, it shifts into more scenario-based trainings where you're doing hands-on things. But everything from learning how to shoot all the weapons that we have to driving a car and all the things that go into that you would think would go into a police academy get crammed into that 24 weeks. And then once you graduate, you come out and you've got about 3 more months of riding with troopers and learning the day-to-day job before you get issued a brand new patrol car.
Sergeant John Perrine is our guest, Indiana State Police Public Information Officer. Sergeant, are you going to be out in the elements the next couple of nights? We're expecting anywhere from 1 to 875,000 inches of snow, apparently. Are you going to be out in this kind of stuff?
I will, as always. The thing is, for us first responders, us troopers, we hear these snow totals, we start cringing because we know what that day brings. But the thing is, it doesn't have to bring that. These people don't have to crash. They go out and crash because they drive like knuckleheads, not because there's snow on the ground. The snow doesn't cause the crash. And so if people would just slow down and take it easy, we wouldn't cringe so much for these days that are coming.
Yeah. So what else do people need to know about being out in the elements? Do you have a list of bullet points that you go down and tell people, look, if you have to be out in the weather, here's what to do, here's what not to do.
And I would say 90% or better of all the crashes that we investigate in snowstorms have to do with somebody going too fast. And it's not always their driving ability, or maybe they've got four-wheel drive, which is they think they can go the highway speed because they have all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. But there's other drivers on the road that you can't always predict what they're going to do. And if you're going 60 miles an hour and somebody pulls in front of you and there's snow on the ground, guess what? You're probably going to crash. So slow down, be patient with the other drivers, increase that following distance. We see so many rear-end collisions because people can't get stopped on the snow. But remember, the snow is never at fault for a crash.
So what you're telling me is that I should do about 85 with chains on my tires and my lights off. Is that what I'm hearing, Sergeant?
Well, I think with your driving ability, you could probably get away with that, but most people aren't up to your par.
Are the troopers' cars, or the vehicles you guys use, they're pretty good. They're pretty maneuverable in the snow. You don't exactly have to have like a four-wheel drive pickup truck, do you? Right? Your cars are all-wheel drive, I'm assuming.
They are, and through I've been a trooper for 20 years now, and I started with the old rear-wheel drive Crown Vic, and we made it through, right? Just slow and steady, take it easy. But now, these last few years, we've been being issued all-wheel drive Chargers, and it's a game changer on the snow, I'll tell you.
All right, Indiana State Police currently accepting applications. Where can people go to get that process started?
Yeah, it's simple. www.indianatrooper.com. Anything you need to know about ISP recruiting is on that website.
The Twitter handle is @ISP Recruiting. IndianaTrooper.com is the website. Sergeant, you're always welcome on this program. Let your boys know that the Hammer and Nigel show support you 100%. My family has a background with Indiana State Troopers as well, so we appreciate you putting your lives on the line for us every day. And please, here, especially in the next couple of days, stay safe out there with the weather.
Hey, thanks, guys. We always appreciate your support, your kind words, and you guys be careful as well. And thank you for this opportunity.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, this is Rob.
And this is Casey.
Ben Savage is running for Congress.
We'll talk about it Tuesday, 9 until noon on 93 WIBC.
At Diamonds Direct, we want to make something very clear. We will absolutely beat the price of any comparable diamond that you find anywhere else. No fine print, no disclaimers, just a rock-solid, unqualified, nationwide price guarantee. And this goes for 1-carat diamonds as well as 15 and 20-carat diamonds. You see, at Diamonds Direct, we're more than just another jewelry store. We're part of a world diamond powerhouse with direct access to the world's top diamond mines. We have our own diamond cutters too, so we are active in every aspect of the diamond market every single day, from source to showroom. So when you see a diamond somewhere else, online or in a store, or from some so-called supplier, just know that apples for apples, you will get a better price at Diamonds Direct. Our volume, our connections, our buying power make this possible, and it's why we've never ever lost a sale due to price. So at a time when value means so much, we invite you to take this challenge and let us prove it. Day in and day out, you will always get a better quality diamond at a better price at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Is it time to show your furnace some love? We've been bringing the heat since 2006. Contact the Heroes of Heat at Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling, your local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Johnson County. Marshall offers affordable furnace repair and installation, plus convenient financing options are available. Schedule your furnace service with our knowledgeable and friendly technicians at callthemarshallnow.com. Financing is subject to credit approval. Contact us for details. Again, that's callthemarshallnow.com.
In St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, every day is a great escape. With 35 miles of white sand, there's no better place to get away. So let's explore the secluded beaches of Fort DeSoto or paddle our way around Honeymoon Island. Let's kick back, kayak, and catch crimson sunsets. Let's trade snow boots for bathing suits. Let's make today and tomorrow a beach day. Let's shine. Plan your escape at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
That kitchen or bath remodel you've been ready to start? With inflation rising, waiting is just going to make it more expensive. Start that remodel today. Hey, it's Tony Katz for Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. Get on the schedule now to avoid some of those price increases. Booher Remodeling is the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Go to BooherRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation. BooherRemodeling.com.
A B Window $2,000 energy saving credit plus federal tax credit and sale prices on windows, siding, and doors. No payments and no interest for 22 months.
Wendy's fries are hot and crispy every single time. Natural cut, skin-on fries prepared to golden goodness, perfectly sprinkled with sea salt, just the way they should be. Choose Wendy's hot and crispy fries today.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Hammer crash inbound 69 between 82nd Street and 465. Right now, we have the left lane closed of the ramp to southbound 69. It's southbound 69 to southbound 465. Crash on the ramp, blocking the left lane of that ramp, backing up traffic big time back to East 96th Street. And on the south side, eastbound 465, stop and go Kentucky Avenue over to Harding Street. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Now get a $2,000 energy savings credit and federal tax credit at B Window, plus sale prices on windows, siding, and doors with 22 months no interest or payments. BWindow.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
33 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You set them up and I'll knock them back, Lloyd. One by one.
We are Curry Booze News, cause it's really fun.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Hammer and Nigel present
Booze News, Booze News.
Yeah.
Time for booze.
And a complete and updated forecast of what you can expect here in terms of the weather the next couple of days after 6 o'clock. Another hour of the Hammer Nigel show coming up right now. Hammer, Always looking for new ways to cure hangovers.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a hobby of mine. Here's one way. It involves dunking your head into ice water multiple times. This is a new one. It's going around on social media.
One man's hangover cure is another torture at Guantanamo.
Jeez. I'm not saying no. You don't put a towel over your face and dump a bucket over your head. No, you stick your face into ice water multiple times. People seem to generally be receptive to this strategy. Like you see this in the old way. I don't think this is anything new. They're like those old. I've watched 100 episodes of Little House on the Prairie with my 11-year-old. Half of them are like when somebody's drunk and they're shoving somebody's head into a horse trough.
Yes.
Over and over and over again.
Well, they did that to Shooter and Hoosiers. Remember?
That's right. So here is Dr. Chris Jackson. They've done studies on this apparently. And he is a pharmacist talking about the hangover cure strategy that he says activates the diver's reflex.
This is the ice bowl method to activate the diver's reflex. Hold your face in the water for 5 to 10 seconds and repeat 3 times, and it's going to give you some relief. If you want to avoid this method, don't forget to prime your body by hydrating, adding electrolytes, and throwing in an alcohol metabolism aid.
I don't know. I would think that would sober me up. That would cure a hangover. That would take my mind off my headache. By shoving my head into a bucket of ice water, don't you think?
Well, if the whole point is just to take your mind off the headache, wouldn't the same thing happen if you just kick somebody in the crotch?
Yeah, but then you have an achy crotch.
But you won't notice the headache. Like you're going to have a freezing cold face and you're going to be miserable, but you won't notice the headache.
I'm not sure. Well, okay, all right. Maybe
Nigel shot me in the leg. Yeah, my head doesn't hurt anymore, but I've got other issues.
Do we have time for we get time for one more, do we?
Sure.
Fireball. Fireball is getting sued. Allegedly marketing their little tiny small bottles.
Sure.
Those singles. They usually sell them at gas stations as whiskey, but they're really a malt beverage. You compare, like you go to the regular liquor store, you buy those little minis, and the alcohol percentage and the content is different than what you find the ones in the gas
big
station, right? Apparently, they use the same graphic in the large size whiskey bottles, or some claim it's hard to tell the difference, and it's done on purpose. It's like a more malty, not as much alcohol when you buy them at the gas station as when you would at a liquor store, and they're being sued. A lot of good Fireball shot, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, and those little minis. We've had those at some of our live broadcasts before.
Jeez, yeah. All right, more updates on what you can expect here in the next couple of days with the weather coming up next. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
What if you didn't have to continue working to live a lifestyle you're happy with? What if you could spend the rest of your life doing what you want to do when you want to do it, not worrying about others claiming your time and energy? Aspiring retirees want to know how to achieve the work-optional lifestyle. A much better question is, who can help you achieve this lifestyle? Working because you want to, not because you have to, is financial freedom. This is Brian Singer. My friend and colleague Casey Weed, the founder of Howard Bailey Financial, wrote a best-selling book titled Job Optional. I'm excited to be part of a team that has developed and refined a proprietary process designed to help people who are still working create a job-optional lifestyle. The Howard Bailey Retire with Purpose framework looks at 5 key areas of your financial life and then informs your choices to design a lifestyle as unique as you are. Retire with Purpose puts all the pieces of the puzzle together in a process designed to bring predictability and purpose to your financial life. We're not all things to all people. We are all things to some people. This means we primarily work with people who understand you don't need to know how, you just need to know who. Who knows how to fit all the pieces of the puzzle together to support your one-of-a-kind lifestyle? Who can do that for you and do it so well that advisor team is the last team you will ever need or want? We work with people who expect their relationship with us to be transformational rather than transactional. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a retirement readiness review and see how the Retire with Purpose process might transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved. Job Optional was the #1 Amazon bestseller in retirement planning on 7/2/19 and a Wall Street Journal ebook bestseller on 8/9/19.
When my landlord said rent could be cheaper if we were friends with benefits, you know? I'd heard of sexual harassment in the workplace, but at home?
That is housing discrimination based on sex.
I'm legally blind. A landlord recently said that he didn't think I'd be able to take care of an apartment on my own and refused to rent to me.
That is also housing discrimination based on disability.
A real estate agent said that we'd be more comfortable living in a different neighborhood with people like us. Luckily, we know our rights. It's illegal to steer prospective homeowners away from or to certain neighborhoods based on race or national origin.
If you think you've been discriminated against because of your sex, disability, national origin, race, color, religion, or familial status, call the HUD hotline, 1-800-669-9777, or go to hud.gov/fair housing. Fair housing is your right. Use it. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
What's it like having next-gen supersonic Wi-Fi from Xfinity? Well, it's ready for major gig speeds. So it's fast, like riding a cheetah fast. And with 3 times the bandwidth, the gaming never has to end. Plus, Xfinity supersonic Wi-Fi has the power you need to connect hundreds of devices at the same time. Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Learn more about our next generation Wi-Fi technology from Xfinity to do more of what you love online. Or now through February 21st, new customers can get started with 75 megabits per second internet for only $20